count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this. Two. Check two. Are you there, folks? Are you with me? It's Monday. Back at it. Back at it again on TRRS. It's Monday. We're stacking apes.
You ready to stack some apes, everybody? Oh shit, here we go again. Let's get that paper. Let's get that paper. Let's stack those apes. Let's fucking go. What up, what up? Rise and grind, y'all. Sigma mindset. Hashtag Sigma mindset. Let's turn our biggest haters into our biggest customers. Maduro style. Sigma ape set. Did you have a good weekend? Yeah, it was alright, Sean Meat. Yeah, it was fine. Springford ruined me as well. Yeah. Good weekend. A couple of big Toronto Raptors victories against the Suns and the Nuggets. Friday and Saturday. Feeling pretty good about that. Two big W's by the Raptors. Scotty Barnes is Rookie of the Year and MVP, and he's my friend. I'm like the movie Congo because I got a shitload of laser apes. Hell yeah. We love it. So yeah, it was a good weekend. I drank a couple of alcoholic cider, sparkling. What are those called? Why can't I remember this? I guess I drank too much. It's not a cider. Hard seltzer. Thank you. What the fuck? Oh, no, it was not a wine color. It was not a White Claw. It was like an off-brand White Claw. It was quite nice, though. I drank 2 of those on Friday night and then 2 of them on Saturday. I guess maybe overdid it a little bit, considering I can't even remember the word seltzer. I literally just forgot the word seltzer. Zima, that's right. I was knocking back some Zimas. I was getting iced. Let's crack this. So obviously I need this. I had a coffee this morning, but obviously I need this right now. Chin chin, everyone. I'm working on a Diet Dr. Pepper today. Let me know, sound off in the chat with what beverage you got. What beverage are you working on right now, everybody? You got a water, tea, Monster, soda, juice? What do we got? What do we got going right now? I have no friends. I have no girlfriend. I have no job. I have no money. I have no hobbies. I have no home. All I have is Scotty Barnes. When I needed something, Scotty Barnes was there for me. Scotty Barnes is my life, my passion, and my faith. I love Scotty Barnes. I agree with that. Hell yeah, we got some great beverages going on here. Strawberry Quick, Sin Child, very out of left field with that one, but I respect it. Had a rain this weekend, good to hear. Got a black tea, Diet Coke, green tea, hard water, hell yeah. Chocolate milk, 1 iced water and a white 0 Ultra Monster Energy, hell yeah, very good, outrun. You're going to be working on that for the next 5-6 hours, so you got to have a backup beverage there as well. Got some coffee, some kafifi. Remember when Trump said that? Kafifi? Classic. No sugar, little half and half. Sounds pretty good. Massively polluted Danish tap water. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's okay. Smoothie. I don't know what that is. Starlight Coke. Not sure what that is either. Iced coffee. Grapefruit juice. Pink lemonade. Spindrift. What's a Spindrift? That sounds like some advanced beverage that I don't know about. Karma Raw with the Starlight Coke. I don't know what that is. Karma, aren't you Outrun's neighbor? Outrun's getting the whole neighborhood involved in these streams. We love it. 200 milligrams of delicious caffeine. A friend bought me some hard seltzers to try, and all of them had grown-up flavors like green tea, so I didn't really get into any of them. The ones I had this week in Warlock were black cherry and cranberry. It was quite nice. I can't remember the brand name, though. I'm drinking water because I'm better than all of you. That's true. Black coffee. It's been open since 7:30 and it's about 70% gone. Okay. Kafifi. And he's orange. This motherfucker, I bet he was having kafifi with his hamburgers. Huh? I bet he was drinking some kafifi with his nice hamburgers. Hey, Pissed. Value community member Pissed. Welcome. Pissed, did I miss your resub? Because I see in my alerts here, Pissed, resubscribed for 3 months of tier 1, 11 months. I don't believe I caught that on the stream on Friday, but Pissed, thank you very much for the resub and all the support you've shown the channel. Really love having you in the community, Pissed. Thank you very much. How will you recover from this blunder? Oh my. What happened was Twitch kicked me off of subbing from you for some reason. Then over the weekend, I needed the emotes. You gotta have those emotes. That's how I get you. That's how I get you. Get you hooked on those emotes. That's how I get you. Sorry, I'm a little late. I got fixated on FL Studio. I got fixated on an FL Studio. I'm working on a new track, and I got like, right leading up to this, I have other stuff to do. I have like podcast editing and stuff to do. And I was like, usually that's the time when I really get fixated on music stuff. So I got totally fixated on working on this new track. And it's really good. Seriously. Each new track I do, I'm like, man, this is totally my favorite one now. Oh, by the way, Cracklebearer. Thanks for gifting a sub 12 minutes ago to Dakadoon. Thank you very much, Cracklebearer. The Beats Laboratory is bumping. Usually, again, when I have stuff to do, that's when I really need to do this stuff. When's that album drop? I don't know. I gotta get someone to mix it. I gotta mix it. I don't want to just release it in its current form. I need to have it properly mixed. I hope you have the best stream of your life today. Thank you, Super. Even though I'm your second favorite streamer. Second favorite streamer, but I still appreciate that, though. How would you describe this vibe with this new track? It's very like John Hughes. It's like teen coming of age synth pop from a John Hughes movie. That's how I would describe it. That's what I've been working on. Last night I was like, should I edit my podcast and do the actual work that I'm supposed to do right now, or should I make this like teen coming of age synth pop track? And I think you know what I went with, as that's why I'm late this morning as well. What's up, Nicole? Welcome. Yeah, losing an hour's sleep has not been cool. It has not been cool at all. Listen, I know I shouldn't do this. I should wait till I'm finished the track, but I just want to listen to it one more time, so I'm going to preview it for you before too many people get here, okay? This is why I'm late. I know we're talking about like serious journalism stuff today, but this is what I was working on previously. Okay? I'll give it a little video accompaniment here. Here we go. Just bear with me here, okay? Bear with me. This will just take a second, then we'll move on to talking about serious shit. That's all you get. That's all. That's all you get. Just humor me for one moment, because that's what's going on in my brain right now. So I gotta share that with you. It's like that's one of those moments when you see the clock creeping up. It's like, I gotta start soon. I gotta stop this. And then I was already late. And then I was taking a shower, and I was like, oh, that's another thing I gotta put in there. That little drum fill there. That little drum fill. And then I see you all in the TRRS Discord server doing the GIFs. You're doing the different GIFs. The touching the watch and stuff. And all the different stuff. And I'm like trying to program this drum fill at the last moment. Better late than pregnant. You got his tunes in the shower. That's right. That's how I operate. Judge Judy GIF.exe. That's right. Correct. Anyway, I'm gonna work on that some more tonight. I'll hope we turn that into like a finished track. I would never say GIF. Super, don't worry about that. I would never say GIF. And in fact, if you're one of these people that says GIF, there's the door. You're not welcome here. Come on, grow up. It's time to grow up now. The creator of GIF says GIF, so well, he's not welcome in this community either. He's not welcome in this community either. I don't want him. He's wrong. I don't listen to these nerds. That's right. You're welcome, Doc. If the inventor of the GIF shows up in this chat, we're going to be immediate ban. Immediate ban. GIF lovers in shambles. I don't say it's not a graphical interchange format. Graphical. My favorite comedian was Gilbert Gottfried. Graphics. Give me a fucking break. Well, John Cipher, you're my boss, so you're the one person that's allowed to say it. You're the one person that's allowed to say it, because I will be fired. I will lose my funding. This is as angry as I've ever seen Rob. Can you believe our countries? I know. Well, listen, we'll get there. We'll get there. All right? Let's talk. We can say hello. This is the chit chat zone. We can hang out in the chit chat zone for 45 minutes or so. Okay? Friday was a short stream. The chit chat zone was once again shortchanged. So I intend to give the chit chat zone the respect that it deserves. Yeah, Nicole, I don't respond to those comments, okay? People can feel free to have their little parody accounts within reason. Some of it was being taken a little far, in my opinion. It's okay. It's okay. Some of it was taken a little far, okay? There has to be a line here somewhere of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. So have fun with your little parody account. I'm sorry, I'm not reading. I see the comments. I will not be reading them. Is Bad Money trolling you on her alt accounts again? Probably. That's probably what's happening. Yeah, I would say. I see you. I hear you. I will not be acknowledging your little parody account. Okay, have fun with it. Have fun, enjoy, whatever you want. My brothers really liked the gritty Batman, but said the soundtrack was a letdown. You know what? I listened to the score from that. I thought it was pretty good. Like the main theme by Michael Giacchino or whatever. I thought it was pretty good. Kind of a different vibe. Different vibe than the Danny Elfman or like the other Batman soundtracks, the Hans Zimmer. I heard the latest Batman was reactionary. Well, Batman's always reactionary. He's basically a fascist. I mean, that conversation has become so over. It's like it seems so obvious now. We end up hearing this so much. He's a billionaire weapons manufacturer that goes and like beats the shit out of poor people in his spare time. I mean, the movie. Yeah, I guess I would have to see it. We can figure out if it's more or less reactionary than any other Batman movie. Superhero movies shouldn't be that long. 3 hours is too much. We've talked about this before. I think you all know my stances. You all know my stances on superhero movies length. Give me a tight 90. Nolan trilogy was straight up propaganda. Well, that's, I mean, like The Dark Knight, which is still a movie that I enjoy. Still a movie that I enjoy. But the whole thing is like, oh yeah, you can have like a civil rights destroying, privacy destroying surveillance panopticon, but only if it's done in response to a serious threat. And there's a total like 9/11 imagery in that movie of like Batman standing over like the smoking wreckage. Which is meant to evoke the World Trade Center bombing. So in response to this serious threat, you can create this mass surveillance panopticon, but only if it's wielded by moral people. Moral and just people. Only if it's wielded by people who follow the rules. The rules-based international order. Only then is it okay. Is it acceptable? That's basically the theme to that movie. Did anyone ever read that guy's whole thesis on post 9/11 propaganda in superhero movies, MCU? No, but that sounds interesting. I mean, it goes beyond superhero movies. Like, it's crazy the amount of 9/11 imagery that's in, like, American films from 2003 onward. There's tons of examples of this kind of stuff. War of the Worlds, the Spielberg, Tom Cruise War of the Worlds movie. There's some like overt red. They're like driving away from this big bridge exploding, and Dakota Fanning again. The movie is like, is it terrorists? Is it the terrorists driving away from it while the aliens are like blowing shit up? And it's I love that movie, fucking great movie. But a lot of that kind of imagery in there. Transformers, yeah. Is Batman canceled now? I don't say, like, you can still enjoy this stuff. I don't think Batman's canceled. Go and watch a Batman movie. You enjoy, like I said, The Dark Knight. I enjoy this movie. It's fun. I like watching these films. But I think it's important to, if you're going to watch these movies, to like be aware of the ways that they're like subtly working their propaganda magic on you. That's all I ask. I love a lot of that. You know what show I really love? 24. I love the TV show 24. And it's basically like fascist propaganda. Again, it's like, oh yeah, if if the circumstances are serious enough and the person who wields this power is like moral enough, you can torture, you can kill, you can do whatever you want. It's justified. That's what 24 and like came out immediately following. Literally, the first season premiered like days after 9/11. But that's the series went on, it really explored that. But The Dark Knight is kind of pro Joker. Like the Joker's cool in that. Well, that's one thing that a lot of modern superhero movies do. Especially Marvel movies do this, where they show the villain and they show that the villain has kind of a point. but then they'll have the villain, like Black Panther is probably the ultimate example of this, where the villain is like kind of right, but then the villain will do something that's so morally like abhorrent that you're like, okay, well that's just taking it too far. And then like you have the main Bane as well. Yes, Old Dutch. That's right. Like the main conflict in Black Panther is like the radical black nationalist that wants to distribute weapons and technology to these oppressed groups throughout the world to like overthrow colonialism, versus T'Challa, the Black Panther, who's like, I will invest in a community center. I will invest in precisely one community center in South Central LA. And that's called compromise. And like, and even though Killmonger is like 100% correct, they just show him being like super over the top evil, just to make sure it's like, okay, so I know he's right, but you can't support this guy because look, he's just like killing people indiscriminately and stuff like that. What is this clip, Nicole? You like, if the circumstances are, oh my god, this is out of context. This is absolutely out of context. Okay? You like, if the like, if the circumstances are serious enough and the person who wields this power is like moral enough, you can torture, you can kill. That's not, you can do whatever you want. You like come on. Come on now. This is bullshit. Seems like the context is all there. No, it's just talking about a film. It's talking about a film. Or actually, in that case, I was talking about 24, which I do enjoy. In fact, I remember, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but that guy Roderick Day, he was like an okay guy. I agree with a lot of his takes. You know, I think he's like not a bad person, but he's like super weird and takes himself really seriously. And one time when I was on Twitter, just like talking about this idea of like, yeah, you can enjoy what shitty Western stuff you want, as long as you're aware of the way that it's bad and you can aware. And he got like super upset about this. He was all, actually, no, you can't just enjoy it. And I was like, calm down, dude. And then everyone started making fun of him, and then he got really mad at me because people were making fun of him. Very, very principled guy, very strange person as well. Weird dude. He's a little bit much, that guy. Very intense dude. He works himself into a shoot like weekly. That's a good way of describing it. Roderick, if you're watching this, I appreciate you, Roderick. Okay, I appreciate your writing and your commentary. Maybe you want to just tone it down like a little bit. Maybe you want to take it from a 10 to like a 7.5. Okay, that's my only recommendation. And I'm actually just going to blow my nose. I seem to have some kind of like sniffle. I'm just going to be 1 sec. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Is blow my nose, streamer speak for... No, comrade, social distancing. I would never do anything like that. Never do anything like that. Speaking of guests, have you heard back from Abby Martin? Yeah, it's tricky to book Abby right now. She's kind of, I think, very busy with like everything going on, and also everything that's happened lately with RT and her stuff getting taken off the air. I was hoping to get her this week. Doesn't look like it's going to be possible. I'm trying to lock her in for next week, though. Okay, so don't set it in stone or anything like that. I'm trying to lock Abby in for next week. Losing 600 of her videos. Yeah, I know. And it's an important time to talk to her, I think. Not only with all the war stuff going on and plenty of like discussions to get into her about, about that stuff, but also just this like censorship campaign that's going on right now that she's kind of found herself in the middle of is fucking scary. What happened with Abby's stuff? Well, a big chunk, because Abby did a lot of work with RT. She did a lot of work with RT, and a lot of like, there's like hundreds of episodes of her show that she did that's just been taken down off YouTube. I'm sure glad we're not living in an authoritarian society that censors free speech. Doesn't RT suck? Well, I wouldn't say that. The thing is about RT is that RT, like, as you know, and when you watch like mainstream media, like RT definitely platforms some like horrible shit. I wouldn't disagree with that. But when you watch mainstream media, there's a lot of like progressive voices and, socialists and anti-war activists, anti-imperialists that just, these viewpoints are just never articulated on mainstream media. And because I think that's the thing about RT is that it did provide a platform for people that don't like people like Abby. Like Abby's an amazing journalist. Abby didn't put together an incredible documentary about Gaza and the Great March of Return, called Gaza Fights for Freedom, which I recommend everyone checks out. It's not like she was getting invites to go on CNN, even though she should. She's a wonderful journalist, very articulate about these issues. She didn't get invited to go talk about this on MSNBC. She didn't get invited to talk on CBS about it. Literally the only way, RT is one of the only platforms that is like allowing these viewpoints to have any kind of exposure whatsoever. If you're a journalist who wants to say that Palestinians are human beings, what news org exactly you're going to go on that isn't something like RT? Also worth pointing out, state affiliate media, what? Jesse Ventura had a show, Chris Hedges as well. And, we can criticize things that Chris Hedges has done, but like, also it's like he's done a lot of really important journalism. Also an underrated part of this as well, RT was the most popular.
We're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Not a cult.
Thank you, Darius. Thank you, Darius, for the 4 months of Tier 1. I agree, it's not a cult. RT, one of the most popular, maybe the most popular media outlet in Latin America, which I think is underrated in this. One of the most popular media outlets in all of Latin America. And like people that live in the global south, people that live in Latin America would say like, it's like one of the best sources for information. It's like it does really good work in covering issues in Latin America, and just completely banned now. Literally the most popular news outlet. Telesur is another malign news source. Exactly. Any outlet that has any kind of state funding is bad, but then we completely like ignore the ways that both our media, our mainstream media in the West, and also social media like Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, is like works hand in hand with the US State Department. I mean, that's why YouTube is banning all this shit right now. Right? That's why Facebook and these companies, they've all got like ghouls on their board members. They all have these connections with the US State Department. There's like especially look at the Obama administration and Facebook, there's like huge crossover of Obama officials that went over to work for Facebook afterwards. But of course, none of this counts as being state media. Only transparent state funding is frowned upon. 50% of NYT reporters on the CIA payroll. Or the way that, MSNBC and these places are funded by the defense industry. They're funded by defense contractors. But those are private corporations, you see. Those are if there's one degree of separation, those are private corporations, so that makes it okay. But this is all just part of the American or the Western imperialist machine. Anyway, this is stuff that why we just need to live with COVID. The article on CNN brought to you by the Gates Foundation. Yeah. Or Politico. Raytheon presents Why Endless War is Good, actually. From our partners at Raytheon. State-funded media bad, Zelensky good. Zelensky is bae. He's basically an Avenger. Anyway, this isn't all an important subject to talk about, but this is exactly what I want to... R.I.P. Kingo, that's right. Maddow brought to you by Northrop Grumman, yeah. While they're normalizing Hitler. They're rehabilitating fucking Hitler. Which is probably something else we should talk about. In fact, we're still chit-chatting. We're getting ahead of ourselves. All this stuff about censorship and RT and that stuff, I mean, we can keep talking about it, but this is exactly what I want to talk about. I want to talk to Abby about this. This is exactly why I want Abby to come on, because Abby's going to have a whole lot to say about this exact subject.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Thank you, Comrade Social Distancing, for the Tier 1 sub. A gifted Tier 1 sub. Thank you, Comrade Social Distancing. Let's discuss your horoscope. We can look at the clip.
Count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
We're going to look at this clip soon, okay? Because Clueless and Marina, of course, did their magic to me. They did some kind of magic ritual, which I don't fully comprehend. Thank you, John McCain's Ghost, for the 11 months resub at Tier 2. Thank you so much, John McCain's Ghost, for that and for everything you do for this community. I appreciate it a lot. I'm stealing your content again. That's no problem. No problem, Nicole. I thought you were going to maybe take the day off. This is how much Nicole cares about her community. She's going to take the day off, and she said, no. No. The people have come here for my content, and I'm going to give it to them. God damn it. I respect it. So it's my pleasure to help carry the load. Okay, it's my pleasure. Hello, Bad Bunny chatters. And if you're waiting to subscribe to Bad Bunny's channel, I do have a hype train here as well. So I mean, if you want to contribute to that, I mean that's also something you could do. You're such a good ally. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't do it for me, okay? I don't do it for the credit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, I like to get thanked. I like for people to tell me these things. I like for people to think that I'm a good person. That's not why I do it, though. I do it because it's the right thing to do. This all lines up so much with your chart. Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through
Talking
all
about
this.
carrying the load, Comrade Social Distancing, thank you for the another gifted 2 subs. Comrade Social Distancing, once again carrying the load of this hype train. Are you folks just going to let him do that?
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
Excuse me, Mr. Rob. Can we get our cute streamer lady back? We appreciate your understanding of cute chatter needs. Have a nice day, bun AYAYA.
Useless teammate. That's going to be a
You
big
can count
no.
on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
I'm afraid not. I'm afraid I can't do that for you.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
B-Rat, thank you for gifting a sub. And thank you also, Metal Dipshit, for the 10 months resub at tier 3. Metal Dipshit, oh my goodness. Carrying the load of the hype train like women carry the load of humanity. That's right. Women hold up half the sky, but a full 100% of Rob's stream, even though I'm literally the one providing the content for a woman streamer right now. But so I don't know if that makes sense, but okay. But whatever. It's whatever. Rob's Aries rising, making him a natural born cult leader. Not that this is a cult, though. Let's be clear about this. Let's be clear that it is not a cult, even though there may be some kind of crossover with that. I think men should take some of the load on themselves. I agree. That's what being an ally is. I like to think of it as a cult. Well, that's your own personal... I'm not going to disagree with you. Metal Dipshit, I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. I'm not going to endorse that, though.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
I heard this was the Rob Rousseau from the Rob Rousseau Show. That's correct. That's right, Chloe. Thank you. Milk Toast Liberal, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Thank you very much, Milk Toast Liberal. It's not a cult. And the friendship triangle is not a pyramid scheme. Absolutely correct. 2-dimensional. Stop centering yourself on your stream when women are present. The Rob Rousseau, unofficial Red Planet co-host. That's right. That's absolutely right. That's actually on my resume. And you put the load right on me. Boom, 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 da, boom, 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 do, do. Great song. Great song. Love those harmonies. The TRRS compound blueprints are most assuredly in the works, yeah. Where do you think all the sub cash goes? That's right, the friendship compound is coming. The friendship compound is coming. I did not no, I didn't say compound. That's not accurate. No, come on. Come on now. Jesus. My only request is to get to be the friendship triangle shaman. I think there is an open position for that. Friendly reminder that in Borderlands, they have a friendship gulag. And then we have one of those in the Discord server as well. And when the friendship compound does exist, that will also be a real thing as well. There's just going to be a big pit in the... Fuck. There's going to be a big pit in the backyard with like one of those like wood cages on it. You're going to get tossed in there if you make fun of my verbal flubs. Come on. We got a minute left of this hype level to get to level 5 of this hype train, folks. You're going to make fun of me and we're not even going to get out of level 4? That's it? You're all just making fun of me? Naughty children will be placed in the punishment cube. We got 30 seconds to get it
You can count
level
on me.
4.
You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Compound.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
We got a great big compound.
There's a hype train going on and you're laughing. Sinchel, thank you so much for the 16 months
We simply
resub at tier
use the computer
3.
to mark up the size of the account.
Friendship compound.
Thank you, Sinchel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
Pissed. Thank you for the 200 friend coin.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
G Cluppy. Thank you for the 200 friend coin as well. Comrade Social Distancing with the 100 friend coin. I love the Thai green curry with rice. That sounds lovely.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the
That
account.
sounds lovely. Siscat, thank you for the 100 friend coin. Useless teammate, thank you for the 200 friend coin. Alana,
You can
valued
count on
community
me. You're
member
gonna have good old
Alana as
Rob
well,
to talk you through
gifting
all this.
3 tier 1 subs. Thank you, Alana. Thank you so much.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
Comrade Rob, if you collected the useful compound on the opposition. I don't even know how that makes sense, Starlight. I don't even know what that means. This is sounding more and more like Shinrikyo. And I don't oppose it if we get a Robertson origin story manga and anime. We don't need to take the cult stuff that far, okay? We're not going to be engaging in any kind of extracurricular activities like what that happened. But I wouldn't say no to the manga, though. If someone made a Rob manga, I would not say no to that. I would not be opposed to that. Okay. Twilight Night in the Discord will be a cult activity, though. I've heard about that. You know who's a big twihard? You know who's a big twihard, folks? Bad Bunny. I didn't know this until recently. Huge twi head over there. Okay, if I see any of my chatters here, you'd better have a tab open for my stream. We're about to do Henlo's. Okay. Yeah. That's right. So we guess we got a couple of twihards in the community. Robinson Natural Born, Buy It Bender. I've never seen anime, so I don't know if this works or not. Me neither. I'm watching New Dawn and Rob right now. Hell yeah. Did I brush my hair today? No, I didn't. I just give it like one of these. I just give it like kind of a shake and just kind of whatever happens, happens. See, bigger wig. Here's the initiative that I like to see. Here's the initiative that I like to see from bigger wig here. What do we think about this?
We simply
When I
use the
start making
computer
that
to mark
Tim
up
Pool
the size of the account.
Look at that. Rylan, thank you very much for the 100 friend coin. This could be us, but you play it. Our future friendship compound. Fuck. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you for joining us. This could be us, but you playing. I will, of course, be up here in the penthouse. The penthouse section. That will be my spot. But there's tons of places for like tents around here near the trash burning location. There's tons of space here for like those little pop-up shelters. You just don't want to go near the trash fire too much. What is that grid near the main building? That I'm not sure. It doesn't really say. I'm not sure what that is. That little spot next to where we burned the toilet waste with diesel fuel is all yours, HTA. That's right. Not a single MSM journalist ever mentioned how fucking creepy and disturbing it was that those SEAL psychos had kill orders on Osama bin Laden, never intended to capture him alive. I don't know where that's coming from, Carmine Social Distancing, but it is an interesting... The whole bin Laden raid is an interesting kind of conspiracy in and of itself, isn't it? Thank you very much, everyone, for contributing to the hype train. I appreciate it a lot. Okay, so we've been chit-chatting for a while. I think we can check out my chart now. Again, community members Clueless on VHS and Marina Dove, two valued community members, did some kind of witchcraft to me. I don't totally understand it, but we can check that out. We can check out my chart. And then we can get, after that, we got plenty of real stuff to talk about. After my chart, we can get into that.
Incredible investigator and researcher. You can dive into anything and you'll search until you find everything there is to find. You're highly observant.
Timestamp at 1 hour.
Happen. When you speak with passion.
Okay, fire sign. Thought so.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Shall we move to Rob's?
Yeah, we can do Rob.
Okay.
Look at that. What's this? What are we going over here? Alana Nana, thanks for gifting another sub to Miss Nixa. Thank you, Alana. Why is it doing that? Stop it. Christ. Okay. No matter. So here's my chart. I don't understand what any of this means. But Clueless on VHS and Marina Dove, two valued community members, did some kind of magic witchcraft spell that we're going to take a look at now. And we're going to find out, hopefully big secrets about my personality are going to be unveiled and revealed. They're about to tell you what it all means. Okay, let's see this. Here we go.
Let's go to Rob. Let's go, Rob. Let me open that up. Where'd it go? Oh, shit.
Oopsie.
This should be flagged for explicit content. I'm sorry. It's very distracting.
Okay. Aries moon Capricorn rising. Okay.
Yes.
This is me. This is my chart.
Has the best chart you could have. It's disgusting. Listen to this, everybody. Gemini is his sun is in Gemini.
Marina, don't worry about it. You
House.
crushed
Your
it.
third house, remember, is what governs
doing great.
communication. And the sun is going to be his most innermost idealized self. Gemini is the natural ruler of the third house, so having Gemini here denotes you have a mind that is naturally quick and in ease in communication. You require mental stimulation, love conversation with others, are a social person, and can take in facts easily. You have an easy time dealing with the small details.
Gemini
squad. Struggle with the bigger picture and large projects. Open to new ideas, and different modes of thought. Hey,
Ben.
So Gemini is... sorry. but then also that they get bored easily. So they're also the kind of people that need constant input, or the kinds of people that are going to start a task and have to finish it, even if it takes them a really, really long time. So this is why you often see Gemini suns in the third house. They're like really into music and other forms of like art.
Okay.
And yes, so
I'm starting a stream late because of FL Studio.
Amazing placement. His moon is in Pisces in the 12th house, which is so the way that the houses go, they start at Aries and finish at Pisces. So Aries is his first house, that's his rising sign. And his 12th house is Pisces, and that's where Pisces wants to be in the sky. Fucked up, because then Pisces also is governed by the moon. So lunar Pisceans are hypersensitive with others and themselves.
Rob's got a 12th house. He's richer than Hassan. Oh boy, I'm not quite there yet. When we get there, though, that's when the friendship compound is going to become real. And Sean Mead in the other chat from the weekend says, that's weird. It says here that Rob is the chosen one who will lead us into glorious revolution. I see.
Like I think we brought this up earlier, that they're the kind of people that are they cry at like everything. You can be hurt easily and maybe prone to escapism, but you have good instincts when your emotions aren't all over the place.
Thank you for the sub, Roland. Oh, it was you. Thank you.
And they need a certain amount of time alone to recharge, since they're so sensitive that sometimes the world can be overwhelming.
Okay.
Being
I
as
hear
soft
that.
as you are, you need to develop
I gotta have alone
thicker
time,
skin.
folks. It's
and
true.
I can, like, Rob strikes me as like a teddy bear man. But I also am a lunar Piscean, so I get it. But I can't remember what house I think mine's in. I think my Pisces are all in. I don't know where they are. I forgot.
What this chart told me is that I apparently need to stop bullying you so much. I thought it was just friendly ribbing. Isn't that how you described it, Red Scary?
They're not in my 4th house, are they?
Yeah, more of a capybara man.
I don't know.
Gracie, we haven't been posting them, but we absolutely should. That would be fun. Maybe can we create like a little channel under Parasocial and have like a chart drop? But I asked everybody, I asked people who wanted to volunteer to get read. And we were gonna do Rob and Stu first and do like streamer charts. So yeah, DM me, or if we want to, we can just do like.
Does it say in Stu's chart that he copies my look? Huh? Stu? Does it say that in your chart? Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna come out and say it. I'm coming out and saying it.
Like a chart number 2, and we can do streamer chart round 2, and we can start off with.
There can be only one. Okay, it's like Highlander.
Really fun. But we also have 5 community member charts to get through tonight. But I'm not going to go as deep into those.
Yeah. I mean, if you want something that's as deep as I'm doing, like I spent all day going.
Stu says he looks like a king. Stu has terrible great man syndrome.
Through these. So,
we probably need another stream for that.
Yeah, like I would like if people want it as like and I'm also like in the process.
We're just white men from Ontario. That's just what we look like, Rob. I guess so. I guess that's part of it. I think I'm older though, so I think I that means that it's more my thing. I'm pretty sure. That's what that means.
Of like learning, so I'm gonna get better as I do more of these. So if people want a chart reading, they're totally welcome to have one.
Oink.
I think I'm back.
Oh, we hear you now.
Yay!
Is there
We're
more of
going
me
over
though, or is
Rob's
are we
right
finished?
now.
That's so cool.
Okay, still more. This is
When
so
I highlighted the
incomprehensible
one
to me.
thing I
All
wanted
this
to tell
stuff.
you, it was about your family. The home and family are of utmost importance to you. Your family tends to have a profound effect on you. You want your home to be a happy place and you want to have a strong familial core. Intimate relationships are significant and you don't go for casual relationships or acquaintances. You need nurturing relationships and you may always be looking for someone to take care of you. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you say you had a really close relationship with your mom?
Yeah, I think we've established this a couple
Yeah,
of
okay.
times.
So you're mommy's boy. Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a mom boy. I don't think that's not a
Okay.
bad thing.
No, it wasn't bad. It's just back
It's
to Rob
cute.
and his
All
ascendant
these people
Aries.
disrespecting their mamas.
Never.
So the ascendant Aries in the first house is going to be Rob's. His personality, what we all kind of pick up.
Okay.
There's someone who's independent, assertive, and has a positive attitude.
Hi, Bolton.
And they can be a great leader as long as they keep their anger in check. People look to you almost instinctually to lead them, and it feels natural for you to pave the way and be a trailblazer. So that's lovely.
That's wrong, right?
He has the best chart.
Facts only.
So then his midheaven point is going to be at the very tip top of the chart in Capricorn in the 10th house. That's where Capricorn wants to be. So you take your career very seriously and work harder than most to achieve what you set out to do. You take the slow, steady, cautious approach and come across determined and practical. Success will likely come later in life after years of hard work and slow progress. You may choose a career that's Capricorn related, like politics, as an entrepreneur, working with people, and helping people.
Hopefully,
Yeah, doesn't he?
it says that my success will come later in life. Like, hopefully not too. I'm already getting later in life here. Can we hurry this up here, planets? I'm already later in life. I'm old as fuck already. I've been doing this like 5 years. Yeah, it's been slow and steady. Yeah, okay, great. Can we just move it along a little bit? Let's hurry it up a little bit. Thank you, planets. Thank you, universe. Jesus Christ. Is the TRRS community not a success? Of course, if it's a big success, Alana. Absolutely. I'll tell you what I need, though. Need a little more Bunsen. Need a little more Bunsen. Bunsen burner. Nice little earner. Let's move that part along, okay? It's nice that I'm making a little income. It's definitely nice that I'm making a little income now. We gotta move this shit along, though, okay? I gotta start stacking these apes. Okay? I just need to find a rock star friend like VJ. That's true. Maybe I can find the same rock star friend. As a person, a kid, a community, I need more. That's a Rob thing. Buy the dip. Listen, I can't pay my bills with a kid. All right? I can't pay my bills with a community, as lovely as these things are. Okay, this kid refuses to get a job. Absolutely refuses to get any kind of job. Okay? Your next Saturn return will be important. Okay, that sounds good to know.
Like fucking call himself a cult leader.
Yeah,
Mhm.
friendship. Well, it's not a cult. It's a friendship triangle.
I don't call it a
See,
cult.
like
Get it
I
right.
need him here to like for me to feed off of him because
We're seeing great success in your mid 40s.
Okay,
Okay, I guess I'll take that.
We're gonna watch him. We're gonna watch him react. But yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's happening now.
So then he has Mercury
Goodness.
in Taurus in the second house. That's like great position. Your natal Mercury.
Wait, someone counted an hour in is when he's.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
As Squatch is pointing out in the chat, it's a community, a triangle, and not a pyramid. I'm reacting to two different chats right now, including a chats from the past.
And value. It can also be like how you bring in money and how you value like the immaterial and the material. So a natal Mercury and Taurus, you take a slow, steady approach to matters. When you study something, you take your time, and while others may think you're too slow, once you absorb information, you don't forget it. It takes time for you to begin new tasks and projects, but you stick to it once you do, and you can take longer to finish them.
Tough
You
but
don't
fair.
speak up too much, so your words have more weight to them. You're practical about matters, use your senses to help take in information, and learn best when you see how things work in your own life. You can have good taste and an eye and ear for artistic talent. You may be good with speaking and writing. It's like, it's so good. He has the best chart. I'm gonna say this after every single heavenly body. He has the best chart. The best chart.
Oh yeah, only
Rob
the best
is truly
charts.
living his truth.
His only
The chart said no
flaw
investigation, no right to
is
speak.
The Venus Cancer in the 4th house. She doesn't want to be there. She hates being there.
Is that why he's so uncomfortable with any sort of romance talk?
Venus being like the kind of like divine feminine romance in that aspect, relationship to your mother. No, the moon is your relationship to your mother. But the 4th house governing like the home, and how you like your like solitary life. So with your natal Venus in Cancer, you tend to be more emotional in your relationship, so you may not be very mature about it. You can get moody and avoid your partner when upset, and need to work on not being passive aggressive. With your natal Venus in your 4th house, you want your home to be as attractive as possible. You like things to appear luxurious and design your home so it's aesthetically pleasing, but you tend to go with things that are traditional and might love pieces that have been passed down in your family.
That's not ringing too
This
true
makes
to
you
me
feel
right
comfortable
now.
at home, and comfort is key for you.
This
Your
is
family
this is
is
getting
important to you,
outside
and
of
you want a good family connection to feel secure and safe in love, and
where
you
I
want
am
someone
normally.
who's supportive and reliable.
Passive aggressive R Rob.
Bourgeois decadence. If I was up to me, the decorating was up to me. I would just live in filth.
Did I do it? I didn't. But like Venus Cancers are also because like Cancers are an incredibly like emotional sign. They can also be like they can also be really shy, and that was what was really funny about it. Is it's like every time like you say anything like sexual in front of Rob, he gets all like blushy. So stars know that you don't like talking about sexy things.
Sex negative. This whole community, it's banned, this kind of talk.
And yeah, he does have his like little streaming, his like little Lennon. That's what I was thinking of about like his comfort, like
his toes
see them
fetish.
both behind me there.
Bigwig, I'm pretty sure Scary ran Lennon's chart at some point. I think when we were having astrology talk in the girls' chart.
Lennon, I know, has like hella Pisces in his chart.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like Rob is living his truth, and I love that for him.
Nice.
So then, Mars and Gemini in the 3rd house. 3rd house is communication again. Mars is like how you handle conflict. With natal Mars and Gemini, your energy has a hard time being corralled. You have a restless energy, and if there's not enough to keep you busy, you get bored easily. You need constant change and variety in your life to keep that anxiousness at bay. You have to have a constant stream of energy.
Somebody say toe fetish.
Shotgunning back the fucking energy drinks. They're like literally calling him out. You be quite the talker, especially when you're nervous, excited.
Called out over here.
You like to have conversations with people debating subjects and opinions, and you may have a hard time sitting or standing still.
Never debate.
Some part of your body always moving at least a little. There's no way he's sitting still with all that fucking caffeine in him.
I'm very jittery.
With your natal Mars in your 3rd house, you don't think much before you speak. That's not true, and that's because he's got like Gemini, which is the prophet.
We've got a show toe Rob in chat.
You don't acknowledge.
Asking if Rob's chart has anything to do with toe fetishes.
Don't acknowledge Don't acknowledge these people.
Maybe.
Sick
Did I
people.
get his Pluto? Oh, no. With your natal Pluto in your 7th house, you may continually experience struggles over power and control in your close relationships. Some of you may avoid relationships completely, terrified by being controlled by someone. Partners may be possessive, jealous, controlling, and powerful, intense, and passionate. If you end up with people who are bad for you, make sure you see your part in allowing that to happen. Oh my God.
It's not nice.
Sorry, what? I wasn't paying
Nice at
attention to that. What was
all.
You
that?
see your part in relationships completely, terrified by being controlled by someone. Partners may be possessive, jealous, controlling, and powerful, intense, and passionate. If you end up with people who are bad for you, make sure you see your part in allowing that to happen. Oh my God.
Jeez.
It's not nice.
Said if you get abused, it's your fault.
Not nice
Victim
at
blaming
all.
much?
And yeah, that's not
Universe?
good at all. I don't like that.
Let us not victim blame, stars.
Yeah, thank you. Gemini is a sign with 4 hands, and each one must be busy.
Rude.
I'm often doing drums.
Toto Rob is
I do
full
drums in my
Gemini.
teeth, and in my fingertips, and in my toes.
You can be honest to a fault
Because I always have music
because
playing in my
of
head,
your
and then I have the drum
natal
beat happening in my
Mars
teeth or in my
third house. Your mind
fingertips
is
or in my
active and your
toes.
interests are very
Pretty much
your
at all
attention span
times.
is short. When you have something to say, you get right to it. Don't waste any time. See, this isn't right with his
Fuck. Sorry.
I think it's his sun.
Forgot
and
I
his
said
third-
that.
Like the sun, because it actually like counteracts that. Because he doesn't just say stupid shit. So don't look right.
Except sometimes he does say things like hot dog, buy it, and slub to rib. And what was the one the other day?
Except for when he doesn't know how to speak English.
Yeah, except for when
Oh, wow.
when he makes absolutely hilarious
Okay.
speakings.
I
Bullet
see.
bowl toots, yeah. There's another one.
Very interesting.
There was another really funny one the other day. I've forgotten now.
No, there wasn't one.
He trips up at least a few times per stream. We're just super nice. Oh yeah, y'all are so nice. You never remind him of these flubs.
Of course, everyone else would be able to talk for 3-4 hours at a time and never make a mistake, wouldn't you?
The rise of
never make a
China.
mistake.
That was the one I was trying to think of.
Oh
Instead of the
my
rise
God.
of China, he said the rise of China.
Incredible things are happening.
I see how it
Great.
is.
I love it.
Oh, the rise of China.
So then
Okay.
Rob has Jupiter in Sagittarius.
My
in the
list is
9th
growing.
house. Just great. It wants to be there. Oh wait,
My
did
list
I talk
is
about
growing
his midheaven point? I think I scrolled right past
Exponentially right
Oops,
now.
I'll keep closing this.
that. No, I did say it.
Okay.
So Jupiter. You want to expand your mind in life and experience the world, what the world has to offer. You are always looking for more from life, and your beliefs aren't radical, but you're a positive person and want to have a good standard to live up to. This is just like the typical like Jupiter in the 9th house. So with the Jupiter in Sagittarius, you can uplift people with soaring rhetoric and inspirational speeches. Share what you've learned in life with others and you'll receive so much in return. You have strong beliefs and should live a life that follows those beliefs. Just don't be too self-centered. You need freedom and have an optimistic outlook. Through natal Jupiter in your 9th house, you need to learn as much as you can. Life is one giant learning experience for you. You could love school, get multiple degrees, or spend a large chunk of your life in school. Even if you hated school, you'd still love to learn, and experience can be a good teacher. You can be a good teacher as well as wanting to share everything you've learned. And you can also be a good writer or in publishing, be a natural storyteller, love to travel to exotic places, and have an interest in cultures that are different from your own.
All right.
He has the best fucking chart. The best chart is fucked up. He's got the nice person, everybody loves you, you are like destined for greatness chart. Fucking rude. Mine like
He's
called
loved
me
by the stars.
yeah,
What
mine
can you
called me an
say?
egotistical bitch. Like mine said to put a pin in it.
I'm not eating. My chart
Saturn
clearly
in
said that
Libra
I was
in
not
the 7th
egotistical,
house.
so it's not true.
Where it wants to be, or at least the 7th house wants to be in Libra. You don't want to fight with people. Instead, you want to find middle ground and compromise. You can have a hard time
My
connecting with
chart called me
others, and
broke
for many of you,
egomaniac.
marriage and commitment
That's
doesn't
not me,
come
though, at
early or
all. No.
easily. You seek people out, though,
It's
needing
clearly
people
outlined
around
here.
you, yet you push them away. You want a partner who knows just what to say and how to charm you. You don't want them to be a pighead or too aggressive, and prefer someone who is smooth in their dealings with you. You're careful about who you choose to be with. Needs a gentle lover. I love it.
No comment.
Yeah, and then they basically just said, like, you may not have had good relationships early on in life. Which is kind of rude.
That is pretty rude.
Mine was rude about that as well.
We have Uranus in Sagittarius in the 9th house. You want to expand your mind and, like, what is the 9th house is, I don't think we've had a 9th house, is your purpose, the education and exposure to the world. So you want to expand your mind, experience what the world has to offer, and are always looking for more to life. Your beliefs aren't radical, but you're a positive person and want to have a good standard to live up to. With your natal Uranus in your 9th house, your beliefs tend to be, so sorry, don't forget that first part. With your natal Uranus in your 9th house, your beliefs tend to be unconventional. You're attracted to ideas that are unusual, innovative, and out there. You likely love to travel, especially to places that are cutting edge and encountering people with highly unusual backgrounds and stories to tell. You're usually not open to people who hold traditional views and aren't willing to go against social norms. You can enjoy learning, but it comes and goes in spurts, and you'll have periods when you're enthusiastic and dedicated and periods when you don't want to deal with it.
Brain bad.
Be as free as possible, hating friends.
What's in Uranus? Oh my goodness.
Fuck fences. Rob was born to be a communist. Oh yeah.
He really was. His Neptune in Sagittarius in the 9th house, because he has a Sagittarius stellium and a Gemini one as well. Like,
thank you for following Juana.
With your natal Neptune in the 9th house, your faith is strong. You have a strong connection to your beliefs, and you believe that everything will work out just fine. But that thinking can lead you to not be an active participant in your life, and it passes you by. You need to take control and actually get moving. Details can escape you, so try to be more practical with your goals. Not get so caught up in big ideas. You also need to be leery of people who might try to take advantage of your faith and pull you into beliefs that aren't good for you. This position can be great for a teacher or writer.
Oh, nice.
And then we did his Pluto Libra, which was really rude. And yeah, that's the Rob Rousseau chart.
Here we go.
Literally has the best chart.
Uranus.
It was just, like, so nice.
More like.
Other than it saying that, like, you may not be good at relationships, but
Our worm god.
Okay. Well, that was very revealing. Very revealing stuff over here. Thank you very much to Clueless and Marina for doing this kind of magic ritual. I am happy with the service. I feel I've learned a little bit, maybe not learned, but confirmed some things that I already suspected about myself. Very interesting stuff. I enjoyed that a lot. Thank you again to Marina and Clueless for that. We love our space witches, don't we, folks? We do. We love our communist space witches. Intergalactic confirmation. That's right, Pissed. What's up, Squatch and Ms. Squatch joining us today. Lovely. Welcome to both of you. Yes, I'm looking at my apparently perfect birth chart. That's right. Next time you should get in voice and roast all your favorite chatters when their chart gets read. I did get in there very briefly in the chat and just mercilessly went at Red Scary. Mercilessly. I took a few moments to get in there and just really go after Red Scary, and then peaced out. I chose violence. I heard my name. What's happening? I was saying when the chart reading was going down, Red Scary, I put in a brief appearance and just went right at you with the ribbing and the bullying just to see how you like it. To flex the pink diamond, that's right. This called Better Pop Off so I can make it happen to be famous in the eyes of the triangle. You already are pissed. You already are, okay? My chart basically says I'm supposed to be famous, but I'm getting old and it hasn't happened yet. You are famous here already, but this community and non-cult will be popping off even more, so you're going to become even more famous as a result. Okay. Listen, that was fun. I've got plenty of like real stuff to talk about now. Okay, I've got plenty of real stuff to talk about. I'm just going to take a small break for like 5 minutes. I'm going to take a 5-minute break and then I'm going to come back and we are going to talk about why it is a really bad idea to join the Ukrainian Foreign Legion. There's a lot of people online right now that are like, oh yeah, do that. You care about helping people in Ukraine, yeah, go and do some training and hop in there and you're going to be fighting a war to liberate this country from oppression. My advice is, if you value your own life and you actually want to help people in Ukraine, is to not do that. Do not do that. Do not join the Ukrainian military, okay? And in 5 minutes, I'm going to come back and we're going to explore exactly why this is not a good idea, okay? Sometimes this stuff is wrong, but it's really funny that yours and Stu's are both like charts for journalists, and mine is like, son, you'll be a lawyer, but also sicko. That's right. Okay, so question for you. Do you want to hear that track again? I know I said I would just preview it. Do you want to hear that again, or do you want me to leave you with something else? My John Hughes track. Let's go. I'm gonna be back in like 5-6 minutes and we'll talk about this for real, okay? Talk to you soon. Okay, I'm here. I'm here. Where's the video? Okay, here we go. Yeah. All right. That's all. That's fun, right? I like that one. Rob, what is your favorite John Hughes movie? I'm going to go with Pretty in Pink. It's not over. Oh, shit. Sorry. I thought that's why we were doing this. I'm ready to go here. Okay? I'm going to go with Pretty in Pink. And eventually we're going to actually have something that can be win. You can use these points for something. Eventually we will figure this out. Eventually I will figure this out. All my points like tears in rain. All my apes gone.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
You convinced me. I will not join it. Good idea, Squatch. Please don't. Please don't do this. Okay? Okay, so where to get started with this stuff? I got a bunch of stuff on this subject to take a look at. Not that. Not that. Here's a good place to start. Okay? Comrade Social Distancing, thanks for gifting a sub to Silver. So, I mean, we got into this subject a little bit. I'm transitioning into serious mode
good
now.
Old Rob to talk you through all this.
Messi95, thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you, Messi95. I'm transitioning into serious mode now. Okay, we've had fun. We chit-chatted. We talked about my chart. I played my new 80s coming-of-age synth-pop track that I've been working on. Now it's time to get serious, okay? So everyone put on your serious face here, because this is serious shit. But this is a good place to start, I think, because we talked a little bit about the kind of ongoing censorship campaign right now that's going on, where not only Russian state media is all being banned across the board, but there's kind of this effort right now to... The music is still playing. That's not true, is it? Fuck. Sorry. Kind of undermines what I was saying about being serious. Sorry about that. It was very low. But there's the ongoing effort right now to not only ban like state media, like Russian state media is being banned across the board, but pretty much any viewpoint that runs counter to the Western viewpoint on this conflict, or the Western narrative in general about what has been going on. There's this campaign to completely censor any of that. And it also coincides with the campaign to censor anything that promotes violence in any way. Remember? We can say what we want. You know, we have freedom of speech. We have an open exchange of ideas. We have a marketplace of ideas. You can't promote violence, though. You cannot promote violence. We've seen like the Trap House subreddit getting banned for like for people saying like, I think, and I'm not saying this, but like just an example of a viewpoint that will get you banned is to say like, I think landlords should be shot or something like that. if enough people say that, the whole subreddits of hundreds of thousands of people have been banned. You can't ever promote this violent viewpoint. Except against Russians. Of course, that's being normalized. Like, that's okay. They've made some exceptions over on Facebook. If you want to, talk about why it's okay to hurt Russians and it's okay to want to kill Russians, that's all right. That's okay right now. Okay, because they're bad. So that makes it okay. But here's one thing that has not been banned. Here's one thing that has not been banned. The Volunteers for Ukraine subreddit. Which is a subreddit in which Redditors are organizing, and there's actually people. This has been encouraged. Okay, it's not just on Reddit. This has been encouraged in our media and in social media, and including on Reddit, where it's like, if you care about Ukraine and you want to go take the fight to the evil, dastardly Russians, go sign up. You can volunteer, and you can join the Ukrainian military to go fight in this war. And people are doing this. There's people coming from all over the world, including Canada, where there's a large Ukrainian diaspora, are volunteering to go and fight in this conflict. And this is both people with zero training whatsoever. This is like actual mercenaries and actual people that have experience fighting in different conflicts. It's a lot like Call of Duty. I think, as we'll find out as we explore this issue, is that it seems like a lot of the people that are indeed doing this, that are volunteering to fight in the Ukrainian military, are quickly finding out that it is in fact not a video game. It is not a movie. This is real life. Don't join the Ukrainian military. You can actually die. Like, this is the kind of issue that I think is a problem here, is that people think this is some game, or that they're the hero in some movie. And, they're going to go fight for the good guys. They're going to join the good guys and fight against the evil, dastardly bad guys. And they're going to help the oppressed country that's being bullied and invaded by the evil, powerful country. And they're going to join the plucky underdogs, and they're going to be the hero. Because of course they're the protagonist. They're the protagonist of reality. So they're going to join the plucky underdogs, and they're going to go and they're going to be the hero in this story, and they're going to liberate this country from this invasion. This shit is not a game. This is not a video game. It's not an action movie. This is real life. You will die if you take this shit seriously. And like, I know we're going to look at some of the posts that have come out about this, especially over the last couple of days. As lo and behold, this Foreign Legion is getting bombed to shit. And I understand that there's this tendency, you can kind of like morbidly laugh. I understand the tendency to kind of morbidly laugh at these like Redditors that are going to volunteer for this fucking military conflict and just immediately getting blown up. But it's honestly, I think, very sad. I think it's very sad what's happening. There's this full propaganda machine in full effect right now. There's this full propaganda, this propaganda machine is in full effect right now. It's being openly propagated by our mainstream media. It's being openly promoted by social media. And people are falling for this, and they're literally dying. Kids that are going from FPS to this are not going to have a good time. And so here's some of the shit that's on this subreddit. And again, so here's the missile strikes on this Foreign Legion. We can take a look at that. I'm careful. We got to be careful out there. Training facility was bombed today. I'm going to be careful what we look at, because I don't want to look at any clips of like violence or anything like that. And of course, there's people on this subreddit that are volunteering for other things, that are trying to, help refugees and do positive things and, do what they can at the border to help whoever, that's all well and good. But I want to focus on the people that are actually joining up this military conflict. And here's one of the top posts on this subreddit. 2 veterans of uniformed services of the free world join Ukrainian Foreign Legion today to help stop Russia's military invasion of Ukraine. So again, if we care about the idea of like, you know, censoring calls for violence, I think it's genuinely very fucked up that on this subreddit, which is like been hit huge growth. It's like 50,000 members right now, just over the last couple of weeks. And this video is on this subreddit, this propaganda video, which is again encouraging people to join this conflict, and I think promoting a very not accurate idea of what this is going to look like. Okay? So let's look at this video. This is one of the top videos on this subreddit.
This is an open call to all the heroes of the free world. On the 24th of February, Vladimir Putin started the war in Ukraine. He planned a blitzkrieg, but got the blitzfuck instead, when his numerous bastards called the Russian army met the Ukrainians armed with stingers, javelins, bayraktars, and an uncompromising willingness to protect their liberty. Soldiers and heroes of the world join the fight for liberty, for the human rights, for the free world. Join the Foreign Legion of Ukraine.
Like, okay. And again, it's talking about the conflict starting on the 24th of February, not exactly accurate. But just, again, it's giving this idea, number one, this idea that Russia is somehow like losing, that Russia is losing to the plucky underdogs. White people have finally understood jihad, that's right. They still think that there's this idea that they're going to join the good guys, right? It's the good guys in this conflict. You have the evil guys on one side, and we're going to join the good guys. Yes, we're outnumbered. Yes, we're outmanned. Yes, we're outgunned. But we've got the force of good on our side, and that's going to protect us. And again, this is not a fucking movie. This is not a game. This is real life. It's genuinely insane how Reddit is able to outdo itself. And again, I wonder, it's amazing to me that this is okay. It's okay to have this on Reddit. It's okay to have this whole subreddit out there basically encouraging people to join this conflict, to basically sign up to be, and I'm sorry to say this, cannon fodder. That's what this is. That's what these foreign volunteers are in this case. They're literally just getting signed up to be thrown in front of fucking Russian tanks. And this is okay to have on Reddit, but of course anything like, the whole Russia subreddit, anyone that's like remotely expressing the other idea or expressing the pro-Russian viewpoint, which is not a viewpoint that I agree with, still, I think a legitimate viewpoint to have, regardless of whether or not you agree with it. That's all totally not okay. That's all being censored. All state media being censored, every other viewpoint behind this like official state-sanctioned Western narrative censored. But this on Reddit is totally okay for the people to join this conflict. Once Ukraine isn't winning the war, I mean, this is the thing, Silver. This is there's been a relentless propaganda campaign, and Reddit has swallowed every drop of it. That like they're winning this and that they have a chance to repel this invasion if they want it enough. If they want it enough, they can win. They can repel the evil Russian hordes. This is like a propaganda campaign that's been fucking relentless over the last couple of weeks. And people believe it. They log on to Twitter and Facebook and they see, the whole Russian, 6,000 Russian planes have been down. 500 Russian tanks have been destroyed. We've got the javelins. We've got they lost the war 2 weeks ago. It's just basically a formality. They've been logging on and just absorbing all of this stuff for a couple weeks now. And they get this idea that like they can go and be heroes. They can join for the free. Like, what is this shit? Like, what is this? What does it say again?
For the free world.
For the free world.
Join the Foreign Legion of Ukraine.
They can be the defenders of freedom and liberty. And people are believing this. And people are actually signing up to go and fight in this conflict. Yeah, the Ghost of Kiev. There's all these stories that have been floating around, which have been openly promoted by like people who generally are people that like identify themselves as being like misinformation experts and stuff. And all these misinformation experts are saying like, actually, no, this misinformation is good when you like the people that are doing it. Just like violence is good when you don't like the people that are having violence committed against them. Imagine joining a war for the upvotes. Yeah, or for the clout. And people are really doing this. Better than working at a capitalist job. I'm not so sure that it is. I'm not so sure that it is at all, actually. Just getting instantly vaporized in some country that you have nothing to do with. Actually, I think it's better to work at some shitty capitalist job than that, personally. That's just me, though. I'm built different. I actually don't think it's a good idea to go and join this conflict and get instantly fucking demolished. Ultra boot take. What does that even mean? I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Would definitely rather have my surplus value stolen than have my surplus life stolen. Yeah, I'm going to keep my job in sales instead of going and getting myself killed in Ukraine. Yeah, I mean, that's generally how I would feel about it too. Read what the volunteers are saying about how slowly or quickly they've been picked off, how under-equipped they are, how they're not even being trained, they're just given an old gun and sent to the front. I guess early grave is better than a capitalist job. Well, IDK dude, why? Please, by all means. I mean, I would advise against joining the Ukrainian military, as the title says. I would advise against it personally. If you really feel that passionately about that, I guess, like, go for it. And you can become, if you want to become a foreign correspondent for TRRS, and you can go and let us know how that works out for you. Don't let us stop you. I mean, I'm trying to give you good advice, what I think is good advice here. I would advise you not to do this personally, and I would advise no one else to take this opportunity. If you really feel that passionately about it, though, I guess go for it, and you can let us know how it works out. Personally, I'm against that, though. Personally, I'm not going to be doing that. And I would advise others to not do it as well. Okay, now I don't know if now I just think you're trolling. IDK, dude, why? We do a little, we get a little trolling sometimes. It's okay. Let me find the tweet that I was referring to, though. Of course, I saved every tweet but the one that I need right now. So this was the Foreign Legion barracks, which was bombed today. I don't think there's any real violence in this. It's just an image of this bombing that took place. And I'd actually like to, because I saw this was posted here, I would like to read some of the comments here. Foreign Legion missile strikes. This is where the Foreign Legion, this was happening with the Foreign Legion this morning. I've been trying not to show too much like footage of the actual war because it's very tricky with the TOS and stuff. It's also very tricky to know what's true and what's not, so I've been trying to avoid that and just talking more about the context. This, I think, is pretty safe. It's just like some missile strikes at a distance. Let's look at some of the comments of this. Glad you're out of there. So many people seem to have dived in without knowing what they're in for. This guy says, I admit I was a little naive myself, even having seen some combat previously. I did not expect to be attacked by jets while sleeping in a barracks room on a training base 10 miles from Poland. So, I mean, that speaks to, I think, how these expectations have been different from people that even have been involved in conflicts before. Because even guys that have been in Afghanistan and Iraq and these places are like, what is this? Like, we're just getting bombed from the sky? We can't just like call in a drone strike on some village where there's five guys shooting at us with Soviet era rifles or older, and we can't just call in a drone strike to vaporize the whole village. We're in fact the ones being vaporized, and it's like, yeah, this isn't actually like you're signing up to be in this conflict against an actual like army that has an air force that has air superiority. This is not Afghanistan. This is not Iraq. This is not one of these cases where you've got the huge, like the massive multi-billion-dollar military arsenal at your disposal against people, you know, in tracksuits with like whatever with IEDs and like whatever they can cobble together. You know, this is, again, it's not a game. And so another thing, so number one, I didn't expect to be attacked by jets. And like while sleeping in a barracks room in a training base 10 miles from Poland. And again, I'm sorry, but you've now volunteered to join this conflict, to be an armed fighter in this conflict. And like, I don't know what people expect to happen. I do not know what people expect to happen. Genuinely. They're like, what, you're attacking us in our barracks? And it's like, yeah, you're just signed up to be in a war. Like, again, I don't want to laugh at this. I genuinely find it disturbing that people have been pulled in. The propaganda over the last couple of weeks has been so strong that you have foreign volunteers volunteering to join this conflict without seeming to understand like what the fuck they're getting into. And again, being deliberately misled about their chances of like succeeding in this military conflict. Spawn camping is cheating. It's not a game. I'm so close to Poland. Like, I'm sorry. I genuinely, I don't mean to make light of this. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. People are dying. It's fucked up. But I'm genuinely kind of perplexed about what people are expecting here. People are volunteering to be part of this, and I don't know what they're expecting. Yeah, and they're doxing the base that they're in again after they got bombed. They're just giving away all these positions. Yeah. Seen a post from an infantryman a while back saying it's hell on earth. It's definitely a different theater out there than what we experienced. Yeah, man, I had been mortared before and thought that was pretty gnarly because it's out of your control, you know, but being absolutely defenseless and in the open with 3 aircraft just shitting all over you with such heavy ordnance was a whole new level of helplessness. Yeah, I would say so. I would say it is. And there's actually some people in this comment thread that are pointing this shit out. Funny TV man told me Russia was losing. Like, I do hope that some people are starting to get the actual idea of what is going to happen to them if they decide to go and participate in this. truly hate Zelensky and all these fucks prolonging this brutality and spending Ukrainian lives to bleed Russia on behalf of NATO. I think, and this is something that I think I've seen a number of people. This is like boomer COVID suicide, just an excuse to go out in a way that's more on your own terms. Okay, so I see IDK dude, why? I thought you were actually one of these people for a while. Okay, you were being a little facetious. Okay, we respect it. And bigger wig, like to your comment about Zelensky, one thing that I've seen people talking about, which is something that I kind of agree with, is that judging from his statements, both like as this kicked off and in the weeks previously, it seems like Zelensky really did believe that NATO was going to come back him up. Do you think I'm wrong about this? It seems like Zelensky really thought that once this starts, NATO's going to have my back. And is now like, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on? I wonder where he got that idea. Yeah, it's like, it's just sick. Everything about this is so sick. You have certainly people in the West, advisors, military advisors and CIA guys and NATO people being like, oh yeah, we got it, we got this. Don't worry, we're going to back you up. And have been encouraging this escalation for the last 10 years. I mean, even when Zelensky himself was elected, he was elected as like the peace candidate. He wanted to de-escalate. He wanted to de-escalate the conflict, which is probably why he was very popular in that election. Even people in, I think, East Ukraine voted for Zelensky quite a lot because they viewed him as being like the peace. He said, I'm going to be the one that's going to de-escalate. And he gets elected, and of course, that's just not an option. De-escalation is just not an option. You've got NATO whispering in one ear, saying like, no, we got to keep escalating this, keep escalating. And then you've got Azov battalion in the other ear being like, no de-escalation, no deal. No deal. So it escalates and gets to this, and finally there's this like dramatic, violent escalation on Russia's side. And it really does seem like he's kind of left holding the bag, being like, I thought I was going to have backup here, and he's got nothing. And again, you have ordinary Ukrainians and these poor saps volunteering for this conflict that are the first people that are being harmed now in this process. I noticed today one of the debate bros and his fans are all in on the propaganda that is close to losing, and if they straight up believe Ukrainian estimates on Russian losses, it would make sense. Yeah, well, there's a lot of our debate bro friends that have been, again, just guzzling from the propaganda hose. All the shit about the ghost of Kiev and Snake Island and all this stuff, and then the brave Ukrainian military soldiers on Snake Island said, go fuck yourself. I've never heard of anything so brave. And then they were instantly annihilated. And just repeating this stuff completely uncritically. Everything that they hear is completely uncritically repeating it. This guy says, bro, if you can't handle this, then go to Poland. It's your choice at the end. I know you're there to fight, but if you have second thoughts, just go and be safe. He says, I am in Poland with many other volunteers. I'm man enough to walk away from a situation when my gut tells me so. A lot of us are going to likely assist refugees at the border because most of us really did come here to help. This is just psycho shit. The general consensus was that they wouldn't drop bombs so close to Poland. And honestly, credit to people in Reddit that are like going into this thread and being like, what the fuck did you expect to happen? I'm curious as to why you thought you wouldn't be bombed. The general consensus that they wouldn't drop bombs so close to Poland, I guess we underestimated Putin's aggressiveness and willingness to poke the bear. Also, who really expects a jet to attack them? Crying smiley face emoji. That's part of being naive, of course. I knew it was a possibility. I was just really fucking hoping it wouldn't happen to me. Jesus Christ. They thought they had the UAV perk. Yeah, the Ghost of Kiev is cool and all, but have you seen the heroic Kharkiv Kid Finder? It's amazing that they did. There was like an official fact check on that. There was an official fact check on that. Yeah, I saw Michael Tracy's in there taking pictures of military vehicles in Poland. The Kharkiv Kid Finder, Jesus Christ. So here's from the video that we watched of the bombed barracks. Here is the person that posted that. It says, dude, I deleted all my posts because I didn't go to Ukraine for the clout. You kind of did, sir. I'm sorry to say. I asked the right questions, deleted my posts, actually bought a plane ticket and brought my ass over. I said in another comment that yes, it was 35 Ukrainians killed because their barracks got directly hit. The 180 bullshit is real Russian propaganda. If you think I'm a Russian agent, you're just in denial that the situation is absolutely fucked. Go ahead and join the Legion by all means. Just be very aware of how bad Kiev is going to get, and be aware that Russians have warplanes and you will have next to nothing. Be very acceptant of the possibility of death. Those of us who left, including SF operators from multiple countries, are simply risk mitigating. No one wants to die in an unfair fight, and after getting absolutely fucking pummeled by massive cruise missiles today, yeah, I kind of want people to think twice before turning their life upside down to go and volunteer. This is their description of the attack from the barracks. Yes, I was here today and blown off the top bunk of my bunk bed in my barracks by the first missile. I made a long post about it, but my posts don't show on this thread for some reason. This is where all the Foreign Legion troops are. The 35 killed were all Ukrainian, mostly due to a direct hit on their barracks next to mine. The base is destroyed, the weapons depot destroyed, possibly the end of the Legion. About 60 people with their heads on straight, including myself, left after the attack. They're sending untrained guys to the front with little ammo and shit AKs, and they're getting killed. The guys who stayed got bombed again in the afternoon, and casualties aren't clear. If you still want to join them, I'm not sure what the process will be, since literally all the infrastructure supporting the training assignments of volunteers is all destroyed. The guys who are there now will all be going to Kiev, and many will die. The Legion is totally outgunned and has a few crazy Ukrainian leaders. After the attack, one officer wanted to march everyone to Kiev and fight. Absolute insanity. Stay home. He said, I realized that when I was laying on the ground this morning praying to a God I don't believe in, that the next one didn't have my name on it. You quickly realize the preciousness and desire of life compared to the meaningless of being hit by a fucking Russian missile. And he says, that's another big part, man. Like a lot of dudes there have experience and really wanted to shape the battlefield and impact their advance, but ultimately they're manning frontline positions that are going to get hammered with artillery and airstrikes, buried under rubble, and your family never gets your body. That's when a lot of guys say, yeah, this isn't our fight. Not like this. Well, that's the thing, Amazing Bird Show. Usually when you're part of NATO or the rules-based international order, you have air superiority. That's what I mean. A lot of these guys, even guys that have experience in Afghanistan or Iraq, they're signing up because they think it's going to be like that. And it's like, no, it's not. Again, it's not like that. You don't just you get a couple guys taking pot shots at you and you call in a drone strike to destroy an entire village. It's not going to be like that at all. Like, this is an army that has an air force. Shape the battlefield. Like, come on. I was going to be a glorious general leading from the back, not this frontline bullshit. Exactly. And this is what I'm trying to articulate to people. You know, this shit is not a game. This is not a movie. You're not the protagonist of reality. You can die if you go and join this conflict because you've swallowed all this propaganda about protecting the innocent, beautiful democratic country that's being attacked by the evil army, the evil powerful army. And you're going to join the good guys and you're going to be a freedom fighter that liberates the country. Like you can die. Did you see the video of the French foreign fighter running from the bombed base? Just hope none of this is TOS.
Voilà, la base vient d'être bombardée, on s'en va. J'ai des copains qui sont morts, donc on se recule, on se barre.
Oh shit, sorry, wrong window. And like the point,
voilà, la base.
The main thing that I'm trying to articulate here too is like we looked at that propaganda video that's publicly on the Volunteers for Ukraine subreddit with the patriotic music and saying like, oh, Putin's army is losing. We've got the javelins and we've got all the support and we've got the truth and goodness and justice on our side and stuff. Join the Ukrainian volunteers. Join the Foreign Legion. This is openly promoted on Reddit, and again, this viewpoint that victory is some kind of possibility in this case has been propagated widely in our media and on social media, and like that's the fantasy version that's being like sold to people right now, and this is like what the actual reality looks like of that.
Voilà, la base vient d'être bombardée, on s'en va. J'ai des copains qui sont morts, donc on se recule, on se barre.
And again, I don't even want to laugh at this shit. This is sad. This is sad. People are dying.
La base a été détruite. Faut que je reprenne 2 minutes là. Voilà. La base a été détruite. Et il y a eu un bombardement là-bas aussi. À l'instant. Voilà. Les gens qui disent que c'est pas vrai.
He was just saying the base was bombarded. Like again, this shit is not a game. He's saying he knows people who are dead. Yeah, I wasn't listening too closely because I'm not wearing my headphones. More and more crazy stories getting out about wiped out Foreign Legion fighters. It's interesting to note that this last week there was indeed a huge targeted missile attack. Like this is so fucked. Like this is heartbreaking. And again, I just feel this. I feel a sense of anger right now about this. That this has been promoted so openly. It's been like totally promoted by everyone. This idea, this viewpoint, to go and join this conflict as part of the Western sort of narrative that's been forming about like, oh yeah, we need to escalate. That's how you protect Ukraine. That's how you protect Ukraine. We don't negotiate. We don't encourage diplomacy. We don't try and de-escalate anything. We save Ukraine. We save you, and we save Ukrainians. We promote human rights and we promote freedom by sending them arms and weapons and by just joining this army. Go and join the army. Go and join the Ukrainian military. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Admiral practices all this bluster about Ukraine is kicking Russia's ass. This has been openly promoted in our media and on social media. And people believe this. That's what I mean when they look at that clip on the Volunteers for Ukraine subreddit. They believe this. Oh, we're actually winning. We have a chance to win this thing. We're going to join. We're the plucky underdogs like in a movie. But we're going to win this thing. We're going to do the right thing because we have the truth and justice on our side and all this stuff. I know a guy that went to Ukraine to join the Legion. I found out that he died 3 days ago east of Zhytomyr. He was in the Foreign Legion. Initially, he went to that facility in Lviv that was hit today with missiles. He was keeping in regular contact with his parents, etc. They sent a Legion brigade to Zhytomyr and put them east of the center. They were ambushed by an armored group and were annihilated. I only found out he died because another Canadian in the brigade contacted his family to inform them he had died. The Ukrainian military weren't interested in contacting volunteers' next of kin. You were your own responsibility. Annihilated, the brigade guy's word. He reckons about 80 to 90% of their brigade was killed by cannon fire and higher-powered machine guns. It would have been an absolute mess. If you're over there, just get the fuck out. It's a lost cause, and those Ukrainian forces are suicidal. Apparently, the guy snuck back into Poland and is catching a bus with dozens of other volunteers that are scooting. And just a disclaimer as well, folks. Just a disclaimer here. We have no way of verifying that this is true, okay? We have no way of verifying that these posts are true. But I still think that it's important. We see the missile strike on the Foreign Legion training barracks. That is confirmed. That is confirmed. And I still think it's very useful to contrast these kinds of stories, even if there's a chance that they're not true, and maybe they're not, okay? Maybe they're not. I don't want to disseminate propaganda myself here. Maybe this isn't true. I still think it's worthwhile to contrast this relentless push to encourage people to join this conflict under the pretense that not only are they the good guys in this conflict between good and evil, and they're the plucky underdogs, that they have a chance of like winning and succeeding in this at repelling this invasion. This has been completely propagated. This has been widespread, this idea, across our media and across social media. And even if this specific story is not true, people are still being killed. Like, people are dying. People that are part of this barracks that was bombed today are dying as a result of this. And for what? For what? Motherfuckers will fly to Ukraine before they serve a bowl of soup down the street. Yeah. I mean, again, I've talked many times about how I'm against this invasion. We have a lot of problems in our own society right now. To say nothing of all the countries that our own countries invade. Like, you have people that have this cognitive dissonance of people that are like, they went and fought in Afghanistan and literally helped invade another sovereign country under completely false pretense, under completely false humanitarian notions, like the invasion of Afghanistan. So they participate in one invasion, and then they morally condemn this invasion that's happening now, and they join to fight the country that's being invaded. I see a lot of copium from people saying Russia's going to fall any day now. So sad how delusional people are. You can't fight your way out of this one. Let's get some real peace talks instead of going to millions of deadly aid. And like I've said a couple times, tampon taste tester. Like I've said a couple times, if you care about protecting Ukraine, and if you care about the fact that people are dying right now, that's what you should be encouraging. You should be trying to encourage, as soon as possible, a peaceful diplomatic solution that ends this invasion. And not, as is the only idea that's been propagated in our Western press, and not, let's continue to escalate. Let's literally join the fucking Ukrainian military to repel this invasion and just volunteer as cannon fodder. This guy again says, from this thread on Reddit that we were looking at, any idea what percentage of Foreign Legion is left now because of this incident? Currently, maybe 10 to 15%. I imagine more might depart today, especially since they're cutting training to send guys to the front. A bunch of guys I left with were like, yeah, I've literally never held a gun, so I'm not going to go to the front if they're not going to take the time to train me. A very tough decision for them to make, but you've got to choose your battles. And they say finally, thanks man, the cannon fodder term is what was coming out of a lot of volunteers' mouths, that's why I mentioned it. There is a real shift in people's expectations of being utilized as a unit with operational capabilities versus the reality of basically being bodies in front of the advancing Russians. I love hearing your coverage, Rob. I should get a real username instead of my troll one. Sorry if it bothers you. It just makes it maybe less. I'm trying to do serious journalism. Tampon taste tester. And sometimes it's a little distracting, but I don't want to tell you how to live your life. Okay? That's part of the magic of Twitch. I think the Ukrainians' game plan is to drown Russian with the blood of Ukrainian citizens. Well, not even that. Not even that, King Yuendo. That's the Western NATO game plan. Like what Karl Zha was saying the other day when we talked to Karl Zha. They want to fight Russia down to the very last Ukrainian. Right? That's their plan. It's concerning how many people don't understand the horrors of war. Not only these volunteers, but also Westerners calling for a no-fly zone and the deranged people on Twitter believing a nuclear war is preferable to giving Putin any concessions. I mean, this is I think, an inevitable result of this Western culture, primarily American, but this is like all over Western culture, considering how American pop culture dominates, all of Western culture. It's all American, right? This kind of like Marvel style, the way that for decades now we've fetishized war and we've fetishized violence, and we've all been brought up on the Rambo movies with the brave Mujahideen fighters and stuff. All we were talking about it before, 24. Our whole culture is founded on this kind of fetishization of violence. And it has really warped people's brains. It's warped people's perceptions. It's a very like postmodern kind of like Baudrillard simulacra and simulacrum understanding of what war is, right? When you think about what a war is like, you don't think about the actual horror of it. And you don't think about body parts being blown apart and fucking people's intestines pouring out and women and children being blown up and like the real horror of it. We don't think about that, right? We think about action movies. We think about the sanitized Hollywood version of it. And we don't understand like what the reality, like our whole culture just fetishizes this and is built on this idea. People in the West have forgotten what war between equally equipped militaries are like, and it shows. And yet there hasn't been a conflict like this. That's what the American military has been doing. It's been picking on fucking villagers and farmers now since the 50s. And not fighting in a conflict where there's like an actual side with an air force and there's actually like that kind of a serious threat. They're used to fighting, these villagers and like rice farmers in Korea and Vietnam, or fucking, people in Afghanistan or Iraq, people that are just kind of like cobbling together explosive devices with whatever they have, and these insurgencies that are hopelessly outmanned and outgunned. Give me death, or give me liberty, or give me death, as long as it's someone else's and not mine. That seems to be the way that like our people in the media are framing this, who have been just enthusiastically promoting this stuff. This is just an insanely sad fucking situation. Young Russian soldiers pushed by some old general fucks into a badly organized mess, and the wide-eyed, naive Western people used to satisfy the Ukrainian elites, preaching, fighting till the last man remains, terrible vibes all around, nothing to celebrate. No. I agree, Starlight. And that's why I think there's people that are getting sucked into the other. I think if you're someone that's getting sucked into like either side of this, where you think that there's one good moral side and there's one evil side, whether you view the NATO and the CIA and the West and Ukraine as being the evil side, or you view the dastardly evil Russians as being that. I mean, I think if you're getting pulled into either one of those camps, you're kind of like losing it a little bit. You're losing the plot a little bit. And that's coming from someone, as you know, if you've been watching this channel, I've spent lots of time talking about the context and talking about the very real security concerns that Russia has and the very real causes of this conflict, NATO expansion and the collapse of the Soviet Union, and Donbass and the Azov Battalion and all these things. You can keep in mind that you can keep all that context in mind and still not allow yourself to be pulled into this idea that there's one side of this conflict that's the moral, just side. If you're picking sides, I would invite you not to do that. Yeah, I agree with that. If these Ukrainians weren't burning socialist books, maybe they could learn how to win a war without air and ground superiority. Well, that's what I mean. It's like you've seen, like, there's people in Vietnam have accomplished this, right? People in Afghanistan has fought a 20-year war against this while being hopelessly outmanned and outgunned. But it didn't come cheap, these victories. The victory against U.S. imperialism in Vietnam did not come cheap, right? Millions and millions of people died. This is a protracted, multi-year long, brutal insurgency. So, yeah, it is possible. It absolutely is possible to win against this an insurgency, against this, like, vastly superior enemy military invasion force, but that's not something that happens overnight. Right? This is a sometimes decades-long process in which millions and millions of people inevitably die. Well, and that's the thing I like Lenin about Zelensky being utterly unwilling to negotiate. I think my view of this, my understanding of it, is that Zelensky is kind of a Western puppet. I know he's, like I was mentioning before, he's someone that got elected under the idea of de-escalating this conflict. But you have NATO whispering in one ear, and you have Azov Battalion whispering in the other ear, saying like, no, that's not a possibility. That's what I mean. It's not even, I don't think it's up to him. It's up to the US, NATO, and it's, people in the West, and they're saying like, no deal, Russia. Like when we saw those posts like from the Kiev Independent, which is not like a Western source, it's like a Ukrainian source saying like Russia wants to negotiate, here's the terms that they're putting out there. And you have all these like Americans in the comments being like, no deal, Putin. No deal, sir. Can you hang on 1 second, folks? Momo's stuck in the basement. She's trying to get out. I'll be right back, all right? Okay. So what else do I got a couple of more posts here we can take a look at. There's this one. From an American volunteer on the front lines of Kiev. This is from Nolan Peterson, war reporter based in Ukraine since 2014. From an American volunteer on the front lines outside of Kiev. Sitting close to the front line, the last safe mode of transportation leaves for greener pastures. A core group of about 30 foreign fighters remains out of around 200 people who were here just a few minutes ago. The base we came from was struck by rockets in the early morning hours. People we lived with for a couple days are confirmed dead. It's only a matter of time before our location is targeted. We're about to be cut off by a Russian tank column any day now. Food, water, and ammunition dwindle slowly. The mood is somber. People are sending their last messages to friends and family. This is so fucking grim. Where is NATO? Where is the supposed good of Western civilization? And he says, an important note, this American is a special ops veteran who completed combat deployments to Afghanistan. He came to Ukraine before Russia's full-scale war on February 24th. He's an experienced, well-trained soldier who gave up his lucrative career in the U.S. in order to help Ukraine. So this is what I mean. Do not join the Ukrainian military, okay? No matter how much this I know people have been guzzling from the propaganda hose, right? People have just been taking that straight propaganda and guzzling it down, and I know it feels good. It feels good to feel like you have this moral superiority, or you're part of some greater grand conflict between good and evil. Again, this is not a game. This is not a movie. You're not the hero in the movie. You're not the protagonist of reality. Remember a couple of weeks ago when apparently it was the Ukrainians who were begging for fuel, food, and water. The Russians who were begging for fuel, food, and water. This stupid propaganda push really backfired. Well, did it backfire or did it work perfectly? This is the question. The propaganda hose. That's not what I was talking about. That's not what I was talking about. Hose is in it's like you're siphoning it. That's what I mean, King Uendo, though. It's like it didn't backfire. This propaganda push convinced people to go and join this conflict because it's like, oh, we're on the winning side. Not only are we on the good, moral, just side, it's any day now. Victory is assured. Any day now, Russia's going to run home with their tail between their legs. This has just been nonstop. This idea. This is in Wall Street Journal a couple days ago. This is so. Again, let's look at the missile strike that we just saw a couple days ago. From just this morning, the missile strike that's now gotten dozens of people from this Foreign Legion killed. 2 days previously, in the Wall Street Journal, President Volodymyr Zelensky appeals to battle-hardened veterans in a race to augment its ranks. Ukraine's new Foreign Legion takes the fight to Russian forces. Western media has been all in on this. May I please ask if Canadian veterans without an active contract are been going to volunteer in the military? I mean, I'd be interested to see some actual stats on that. I know that there's Canadians that are part of this Foreign Legion. I know we've got a large, prominent Ukrainian diaspora in this country, and people are volunteering. Absolutely. Well, and this is kind of what I've been saying, James. Zelensky's a puppet of the West, but on top I've heard that he's basically boxed in now by these insane neo-Nazis the West has propped up around him. And so now he's fucked. If he surrenders or makes a deal with the Russians, Azov and all these fools will pretty much just murder him and dump him in some ditch. That's what I was talking about when people are saying, oh, he's not willing to negotiate. I don't know if he has much say in this now. Between NATO and between the neo-Nazis that have been propped up by NATO, I don't think he has I don't even think he's able to de-escalate or he's able to negotiate. Let me find. I had another one that I seem to have lost. There was this one from a few days ago too. This is from The Sun on March 9th. British Lion. I'm one of the first Brits to join Ukraine. They fight like lions, and I'm proud to take on Putin with them. And he says, when we arrived, it was very quiet, but all of a sudden the gates of hell opened up on us. A squadron of Russian jets fired down rockets before a fleet of attack choppers joined in. Jason and 10 soldiers from the Georgian Legion took cover in woodland. Jason, who served with the Mercian Regiment, added, "We got very close to getting whacked. I've never experienced firepower like that. I don't think anyone of this generation ever has." Well, you have if you live in Iraq or Afghanistan or Libya or Syria. Iraq and Afghanistan was totally different. And like someone mentioned a couple paragraphs back in the chat, I forgot for mentioning this, but yeah, it's like these people, they're volunteering to join Putin, and I guess they've never heard of Aleppo, or they've never heard of Grozny, which are cities that Putin has absolutely flattened. Iraq and Afghanistan was totally different. The Russians are a conventional modern army. This is kind of what we're trying to take away from this here. You're not fighting guys in tracksuits that are cobbling together IEDs. This is an actual military with an air force and stuff, and MiGs. And then this motherfucker as well, if this wasn't enough, they were taken to a security service base and interrogated for 3 hours. Jason said, "My head was slammed down by one of the guards. A different guy came in and I could tell," these are Ukrainians, by the way. "A different guy came in and I could tell by his kit that he was an elite unit. He had cable ties and 2 hoods, and I thought, shit, this is real. They kept shouting Russian at me, but obviously I said I was English. They whacked me around 8 or 9 times. I had quite a bad concussion and was bleeding heavily." He went on, "They looked at my phone and my messages, which was a really scary moment. I wasn't scared of dying, but I was scared of putting my family and friends through the pain of knowing I was in that situation." Eventually, they were released, and Jason joined hundreds of thousands on trains to Lviv. He then fled to the Polish border before getting a train to Warsaw. From there, he flew to the UK and arrived home in Kidderminster last Friday. He said, "I didn't go there to die. I obviously thought about it, but I had a job to do." So he volunteers, again, to go take the fight to Putin, immediately gets fucking decimated in an airstrike, then gets tortured by people in the Ukraine military for thinking that he's a Russian spy, and he just immediately goes home. What's up, Comrade Kenny? I have friends who are into exec protection, guys who train mercs for Blackwater, etc., and guys I follow on social media who are their trainers, all psychos. Don't shed a tear for any of them. Well, I guess I'm trying to make a difference, Comrade Kenny, between like these kind of mercs who are just going over there because they want to kill, and just like naive Westerners with no experience that are buying this propaganda campaign about, again, joining the plucky underdogs that are on the verge of repelling this invasion because the Russians are just doing so badly. And people getting this idea of like, oh, you're going to join the good guys in this fundamental conflict between good and evil with zero experience, and people are volunteering to be part of this and just are getting fucking blown to bits. I mean, there are people that are falling for this. Hi, Rob. Please don't worry. I'm not going to Ukraine. The world needs podcasters. That's right. Big shiny takes, Eric. Thank you, Eric. We're the true heroes. We're the true heroes in all this. So thank you for doing everything that you do. Thank you for your service. Yeah, the Russians are just a week away from the knockout blow. Naive Westerners, Rob, it's a settler thing to stop the Asiatic hordes. It's not naive, it's bigotry and settler colonialism to a T. Well, that's obviously part of it, Silver. But there's also, like, you can't deny as well, I'm sure, and I know you're aware of this, that there is this massive propaganda push. Like, there's a full court press propaganda push from our very, very powerful media establishment that people are buying it. They're really buying it. And I guess, like, regardless of everything you're pointing out, which I don't disagree with, there's still kind of a tragedy inherent to that. That people are believing this Western propaganda and they're getting pulled into this and they're fucking laying down their lives for no reason. You know? There's kind of a tragedy for that. I played in one in Civilization 6 as Ukraine against Russia. Where's my medal? Yeah. Yeah. But this is all just very grim stuff, though. There's work to be done so we can actually bring this NATO war machine to its knees. Well, that's one of the tragedies of this conflict, Silver, is that it seems like this has strengthened NATO more than anything. Right? Not only is there this huge human cost of, like, you know, Russian soldiers that are conscripted into this thing, and they're getting thrown to the front lines. There's Ukrainian civilians that are dying. There's these poor fucks that are swallowing this propaganda campaign and volunteering for this. It just feels like, and now there's this huge human cost, and now you have like all these countries like Finland, they're all clamoring to join NATO now. This has given the NATO guys everything that they want. It's kicked off this whole new Red Scare, which is taking off now. This is from The Guardian. Yeah, Friday. My plan is there is no plan. Like this does this sound like something that anyone wants to be a part of? My plan is there is no plan. Cool. Good job. The foreign fighters flock into Ukraine. Thousands of people from around the world have joined the war effort, unsure when or if they will return home. My grandfather spent 10 years in a Soviet camp in Kazakhstan. Wonder what he was up to prior to that. Igor Gavrilko was at his home in West London when the Russian bombs began to fall on Ukraine. A British citizen originally from Ukraine, he had lived in the UK since '96, working most recently for Nissan as a forecourt salesperson. He rang his boss. I knew a Russian invasion was going to happen, he said. My Ukrainian grandfather fought against the Red Army and the Nazis in World War II. Now it's my turn to help, which is another thing we've heard often from these Ukrainian nationalists. Oh, he fought the Nazis as well. Igor, what was your Opa up to? Yeah, in Old Dutch, they now have perfect excuse and tacit consent to just ban any counter-narrative as well. And we're seeing that play out in real time right now. How do you fight the Red Army and Nazis at the same time? He fought against the Red Army, turns to look at the audience, and the Nazis. Did you, though? Did he? What do you mean? We all know that everyone in prison in the Soviet Union was an innocent freedom fighter and prisoner of conscience. Yes, that's true. No, I was part of a third group. You probably haven't heard of them. Well, that's the thing. Maybe it was one of these like Ukrainian nationalist movements where it's like even the Nazis were like, this is actually taking things a little far, like with Bandera, which we talked about with Carl last week. Even Bandera, the Nazis, when it came to Stepan Bandera, were like, this is actually a bit much for us. Maybe it was one of those situations. There was actually a band of psychopaths covered in Ukraine on fire that talked about these guys. Fought the Nazis when Soviets liberated Ukraine. Then went and turned on the Soviets too. Yeah. I, for one, am excited for the future. What's this, Bolden? This is cool. I do like this.
Roadway initiative projects have been implemented in really a predatory fashion. Congress attempted to counteract China's Belt and Roadway initiatives.
Not like our loan program with the
Build
IMF.
Act.
By the way, the IMF, which Ukraine declined IMF loans prior to the Maidan coup that kicked off this entire conflict. Talk about predatory a predatory loan program. They said no to the IMF and immediately the government was overthrown. I wonder if that's probably just coincidence though.
The Belt and Roadway Initiative projects have been implemented in really a predatory fashion. Congress attempted to counteract China's Belt and Roadway initiatives in 2018, the BUILD Act. As far as I can tell, and I may be incorrect, but there seems to be little interest by the underdeveloped nations to utilize the U.S. BUILD Act over China. Why do you think these nations have been so hesitant to utilize the U.S. and help fund their initiatives?
And I'm interested to see the answer to this, but it is funny, and this is why we were pointing out the other day, like Camilla from Kausachin, friend of the stream, was saying like, you don't understand the support that Russia has right now in Latin America. Like you're underestimating the extent that which Latin America is kind of uniting behind Russia in this conflict. And it's like we were saying on the stream, it's like, yeah, they know. They're all too intimately familiar with what Yankee imperialism looks like. They know exactly what happens when America comes into their country and starts funding right-wing psychopaths and these armed militia groups, and what happens to your society in that case. Yeah, they've been through this a couple times now. People in Latin America, they know all about this. They know all about predatory loans and what that means. Not just the military imperialism, but the economic imperialism. It's not surprising at all that I think people in Latin America are uniting behind Russia in this conflict. And it's not surprising at all that they're rejecting U.S. help, these developing nations in Latin America, and turning to China. Because again, they know exactly what it means to cut deals with the United States of America. Zelensky in Ukraine is finding out what that means right now too. They're finding out exactly what happens when you make deals and you get assurances of security from the US of A and NATO and these Western powers. You find out exactly what that means. Or accepting IMF loans, which they eventually did, I believe, after the government was overthrown. Let's see this answer.
Congresswoman, thank you so much for the question, and I completely concur with General Richardson's characterization of what China is doing in the region through its gray zone tactics and leveraging BRI. We have seen those predatory practices play out in other regions of the world, and it's disturbing that it is happening in the hemisphere as well, and with our close partners.
Right in their front yard.
In response to your question, I would have to defer to the Department of State and USAID colleagues in terms of how the conversations are proceeding.
Why are people in Latin America rejecting people from USAID? It says aid right there in the title. Yeah, it's like they know. They know what this shit means now.
Partners in the region as they engage them on the BUILD Act, but certainly to underscore the need for a holistic approach to the region to get after the gray zone challenge.
We're offering help, yes, and they're not taking it.
Yeah, no shit.
Yes.
But yet, so when I talk is we need to provide assistance, we need to provide assistance, we need to provide assistance, then we provide assistance and they don't want it.
Multipolarity.
So is that really the issue? Or is there something I'm missing?
It's not just about America
anymore,
is it?
It's an excellent question, Congresswoman. And again, I would have to defer to the State Department, who is on the front lines of engaging with partners on that particular issue. But certainly from a Department of Defense perspective, we continue our security cooperation, commitments, and relationships as a great way to continue to build the relationships in the region.
Salad.
But we have to get them off of China and our adversaries.
That ship has sailed, lady.
We really have to spend some time on why, because it really isn't that we're not providing.
Do they not know why? That's the amazing thing. We have to get them off of China, of our adversaries. That ship has sailed, lady. That's gone. That's long gone. That opportunity. Number one. This question, this is what I don't understand. These U.S. officials, who apparently just have no understanding of the history of what their government has done. I genuinely don't get it. We really have to spend some time on why. Why are they rejecting our help like this? Why would they reject this this offer, we're extending a hand in friendship to these developing nations, and they're rebuking us. They're slapping our hand away. Why? Why is that? It's like, lady, you work for the U.S. government. Do you not have any fucking idea? I'm genuinely asking. Do you not have any fucking idea what your government has been doing in Central and South America for decades? Like, do you think people are stupid? Again, look no further to, like, we know why Latin America is showing such strong support for Russia in this Russia-Ukraine conflict, because they know what Yankee imperialism is. Again, they know full well what has happened in places like El Salvador or Nicaragua or all these other places where the U.S. has armed and funded these fucking right-wing death squads that have gone on rampages in these societies and committing horrible genocides. They're familiar with this playbook, the playbook that we're now seeing playing out in Ukraine. Yeah, exactly. Comrade social distancing. Remember when Joe Biden went, I don't think Latin America is our backyard. I think it's our front yard. And every Latin American knows exactly what he means. Yeah. It's just the arrogance of this is incredible. We have to get them off China. These predatory loans from China, we got to get them off China. Why are they saying no to our completely non-predatory offers of aid and friendship? I can't seem to open that silver. The plan is to coup literally all of Latin America, the 3rd and 4th Fleet sitting in the Caribbean ready to go. Thousands of troops who pulled out of Afghanistan have been redeployed to Latin America and are still ready to fight, and thousands of mercenaries have been sliding into Latin America for years. The Copium Wars, that's a good way of putting it. We've been killing and oppressing you people for hundreds of years, and now you turning to China is the thanks we get. And yeah, we look at fucking open veins of Latin America. It goes beyond the last couple hundred of years. Like the exploitation of the West and of these former colonial countries, or current neo-colonial countries, depending on how you want to phrase it. And now they're like going to... This is the attachments of the General Services Agreement between the Venezuelan opposition and Silvercorp. The document was provided to Venezuelan opposition officials on the condition that one of the attachments be redacted. I mean, this seems interesting, but I can't go over through this 41-page document. But I think we get the basic idea. Silver. And it is funny though that now they're turning to Maduro to be like, hey, can you help us out? Now that we're turning off the gas from Russia, can you help us out, Maduro? I know we've been like proclaiming other people that have no fucking credibility or support whatsoever. We've been proclaiming presidents of Venezuela now for the last couple of years. We've been promoting guys like Elliot Abrams to do this. Elliot Abrams, who literally oversaw some of those genocides that I was talking about in the 80s in El Salvador. Actual criminals with blood on their hands, who empowered right-wing death squads to go on these fucking rampages and then covered it up. I know we've been promoting guys like that to destabilize your country, but hey, can you do us a solid now? Can you help us out? And of course, they're surprised that Venezuela and these other Latin American countries are like, no, thank you. This woman is giving strong Miss Millie energy for the melanin deficient in the chat. It's from the shitty white lib lady who took extreme umbrage with the blacks not accepting her help in The Color Purple. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that movie. I haven't seen Color Purple, Comrade Kenny, but I think we all know the type. This is the most galling thing about those people, especially the self-proclaimed leftist socialists who are now running cover and justification for U.S. imperialism, saying it's somehow insignificant compared to this terrible Russian imperialism, and anyway, it was all done out of good intentions and benevolence, so yeah. you realize, especially over the last couple of weeks, how strong the American exceptionalism is in Western propaganda. So this is part of that document that Silver was sending over. That's really an amazing clip. How are they saying no to our help? The following groups and organizations have been identified as paramilitary forces that may be considered hostile and engaged. The Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, People's Army. The National Liberation Army, Hezbollah. Illegitimate Venezuelan forces. Maduro, his lieutenants, key associates, and any armed supporters of Maduro have been designated as declared hostile forces. And there's a lot of civilians that have been armed in Venezuela to protect like their neighborhoods, right? So they're getting included in this as well. The colectivos. Diosdado Cabello, his lieutenants and key associates have been designated as a declared hostile force. This is really, really an amazing clip about this. I actually just want to see this again. It's really stunning. She just doesn't know. That's what I don't get about these fucking Americans. She just doesn't get it.
The Belt and Roadway Initiative projects have been implemented in really a predatory fashion. Congress attempted to counteract China's Belt and Road.
By the way, Comrade Kenny, I think an analogy that you mentioned the color purple. I would talk about Native Son as well. I don't know if you've read Native Son. I have it behind me there. Native Son is one of my favorite books, and something that really helped me understand the reality of being black in America and what that means. But there's a lot of these kind of types as well in Native Son. These kind of like performative white allies. Great book.
Roadway initiatives in 2018, the BUILD Act. As far as I can tell, and I may be incorrect, but there seems to be little interest by the underdeveloped nations to utilize the U.S. BUILD Act over China. Why do you think these nations have been so hesitant to utilize the U.S. and help fund their initiatives?
She's so confused. Look at her. Look at her face. She really just doesn't get it. It's amazing to me, some of these Americans. It's really amazing. Like, I don't think this is performative. I think she really just doesn't get it. Yeah, these types actually think they're the good guys. Like, you work for the U.S. government, and you just have no conception of what your fucking government has been doing. You have no, you clearly just have no fucking idea. I recoil every time I hear the word underdeveloped. That's right. It's been a long time that these places in Latin America have been underdeveloped. It's been 400 or 500 years of this shit. You'd think by now that they would maybe be developed. After 400 years of like Western colonialist development, you'd think Latin America would be developed by this time. You'd think Africa would be developed by now. But as we know, folks, these countries in Central and South America, in Africa, in Southeast Asia, they're not underdeveloped, are they? They're not underdeveloped. They're overexploited. But this lady doesn't seem to understand that basic concept.
Congresswoman, thank you so much for the question, and I completely concur with General Richardson's characterization of what China is doing in the region through its gray zone tactics and leveraging BRI. We have seen those predatory practices play out in other regions of the world, and it's disturbing that it is happening in the hemisphere as well and with our close partners. In response to your question, I would have to defer to the Department of State and USAID colleagues in terms of how the conversations are proceeding with partners in the region as they engage them on the BUILD Act, but certainly to underscore the need for a holistic approach to the region to get after the gray zone challenge.
We're offering help.
What?
And they're not
This is a lib face this moment.
Yes.
We're offering,
But
they're
yet,
not taking it.
you
Whoa!
know, so when I talk is
What?
we need to provide assistance. We need to provide assistance. We need to provide assistance. Then we provide assistance.
They're ungrateful.
And they don't want it. So is
They're
that
just
really
ungrateful,
the issue?
aren't they?
Or is there something I'm missing?
Yeah, I think there's something you're missing, you fucking
It's an excellent
loser.
question, Congresswoman. And again, I would have to defer to the State Department, who is on the front lines of engaging with partners on that particular issue. But certainly from a Department of Defense perspective,
Amazing.
we continue our security cooperation, commitments, and relationships as a great way to continue to build the relationships in the region.
But we have to get them off of China and our adversaries.
It's not going to happen, lady. It's over. It's over, ma'am. You're not going to get them off China and your adversaries. That ship has sailed, ma'am. It's finished. Your empire is in decline. They don't want it. You said it yourself. They don't want it anymore. They're hip to what the U.S. is all about. They know what it means to take economic aid from America. They know all about these offers of friendship and aid from the U.S. They know exactly what this is. People are not stupid. This is the U.S. mentality. We have to get them off China because it's bad for us. Okay, what about what is good for these countries and their people? Well, that's why they frame everything as being predatory. You see, now they're taking the bad aid. They're rejecting our good aid, which is not predatory, of course. And now, because of this, they're accepting the bad predatory aid. Again, completely ignoring the decades of evidence that we have about things, the way that the World Bank and the way that the IMF is extremely predatory and is a tool of U.S. empire to continue the exploitation and continued colonialism of these countries. They had a choice between the IMF and the BRI, and they chose BRI. That's right. And they were correct to do so. Ukraine doesn't get it yet, apparently. I mean, this is what Ukraine should be, the ultimate example right now. It should be the ultimate example of what happens when you make a deal with the United States of America and you accept economic aid from the IMF and you make a security deal with the United States of America. This is what happens. They don't fucking care about you. They're not coming to help you. They're not going to protect you. They're not trying to help you out of the goodness of their hearts. They're using you for their own ends. That's what Mearsheimer said. They got led down the primrose path. That's exactly right. Let me see if I can find this other thing too. Trying to find this story about that NYT journalist. Okay, thank you. We'll take a look at this first. This is from Bolden in the Discord. And thanks once again to friend of the stream, Camilla, for working this beat. Really a great journalist, Camilla. Here's where you know it's over for the U.S. as countries find a solid development partner in China, which has invested billions in infrastructure projects in Argentina, Jamaica, Cuba, Peru, Colombia, etc. These are not small projects they're putting in this region. So listen when they're talking about this and exactly why they're rejecting these offers of friendship and aid from the United States.
Are there particular Belt Road Initiative projects that concern you the most? Which types of projects do you think are most important for us to prioritize as we not only monitor Chinese infrastructure investment, but also seek to provide alternatives to it? So it's not the bigger picture, but specifically, are there port projects, energy projects that we should be aware of that that concerns you?
So the projects that China has in the AOR are extremely prevalent. And when there are other agencies that are providing projects like USAID and things like that. My lever really is the Corps of Engineers and the projects that they do. But in terms of for the Department of Defense, that's only about $250 million in projects over a 5-year period. If I look at what PRC is investing in the AOR over a 5-year period of 2017 to 2021, $72 billion. It's off the charts. And I can read a couple of the projects. The most concerning projects that I have are the $6 billion in projects.
Take your $72 billion and stuff it, President Xi, sir. We don't want it. We would rather stick with America, who have treated us so well. They've treated us so kindly. They've been so generous. Take your $72 billion and get it out of here, sir. Yeah, I can't believe they're not doing this. It's just a mystery. It's just a total mystery as to why they're not doing this. I don't get it.
Specifically near the Panama Canal. And I look at the strategic lines of communication, Panama Canal and the Strait of Magellan. But just to highlight a couple of the projects, the nuclear power plant in Argentina, $7.9 billion. The highway in Jamaica, $5.6 billion. The energy refinery in Cuba, $5 billion. The highway in Peru, $4 billion. Energy dam in Argentina, $4 billion. The metro in Colombia, $3.9 billion.
And Colombia, a close U.S. ally in Latin America. And it might be slipping away.
Great railway in Argentina, $3 billion. These are not small projects that they're putting in this region. This region is rich in resources, and the Chinese don't go there to invest. They go there to extract. All of these projects are done with Chinese labor, not with host nation countries.
Time has expired.
Canada should get in on the BRI. So should America. America's infrastructure is total dog shit. It's just all falling apart. Maybe we can get one high-speed rail line. And eventually we're going to get to a point where that offer is going to be on the table, I'm sure. Can you post the link to this in the Discord or chat? Yeah, of course I can. I'll post it in the chat right now.
Are there particular belt?
It's coming from our friend Camilla. Friend of the stream. Former guest of the stream, Camilla. From Kausachin News. Yeah, so this is an interesting story about this NYT journalist that was killed in Ukraine. I mean, first of all, the way it was framed originally, by when the story came out was murdered by the evil Russians. I'm trying to find one of the first posts. Now they've tried to walk back, and they're not saying who. Here's like how this story was framed initially. This American journalist who's like an NYT contributor who had nothing to do with the NYT for the last couple of years, and they quickly distanced themselves from it. So something kind of suspicious about it in the first place. Being shared by this guy, Jonathan F. Balencieri. This was how this was framed initially when this came out. An award-winning American journalist was killed in Irpin, Ukraine. Brent Renault was in a vehicle with other colleagues when Russian troops opened fire. 2 others were wounded, according to the Times. UK Sky News and NYT crews suffered similar attacks recently. And then you have this clip of the guy's colleague who kind of disputed that story, and you can see the way that's being reported in Western media now. They're pulling back from the idea that he was shot by the Russians, but they're being very ambiguous about who did this shooting in the first place. Here's what his colleague said.
Tell me, please, what is your name?
Juan.
Juan? Where are you from?
The U.S.
Yes. What happened to you?
We crossed the first bridge in Irpin. We're going to film other refugees leaving, and we got onto a car. Somebody offered to take us to the other bridge, and we crossed a checkpoint, and they start shooting at us. So the driver turned around, and they kept shooting. It's 2 of us. My friend is Brent Renault, and he's been shot and left behind.
And how is he?
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know what happened to him.
I saw him being shot in the neck, and we got split, and I got pulled into the.
And who brought you here?
An ambulance. I don't know.
Tell me.
So, and yeah, it's telling. I think we can infer what actually happened by the fact that the New York Times and other Western outlets that are reporting on this are pulling back from the idea that he was shot by Russians. And they're saying it was kind of ambiguous. Like, that's how they're kind of reporting it now. An American journalist killed in Ukraine. Brent Renault, an award-winning American filmmaker and journalist, was killed in Ukraine on Sunday while reporting in a suburb of the capital, Kiev, according to Ukraine's Interior Ministry. The Ukrainian authorities said he was killed in Irpin, a suburb that has been the site of intense shelling by Russian forces in recent days. But the details of his death were not immediately clear. Ukrainian officials said another journalist was wounded as well. I think we can infer from this what happened. At the time of his death, Mr. Renault was on assignment for Times Studios working on a project. If we can infer from what they're not saying here and what his colleague was saying. They're doing the cop language. Bullets were caused to be discharged in their direction. They're doing that sort of the way that they talk about police shootings. Was on assignment for Times Studios working on a project focused on the global refugee crisis. Anton Gerashenko, an advisor to Ukraine's interior minister, said in a statement that Mr. Renault paid with his life for attempting to expose the insidiousness, cruelty, and ruthlessness of the aggressor. So let's just take a look at this one more time. Right? This is what started this off.
2 years ago.
This is a big post. One of the on the front page of this Volunteers for Ukraine subreddit. Slava Ukraini, it says. To veterans of uniformed services of the free world, join Ukrainian Foreign Legion today to help stop Russia's military invasion of Ukraine. So let's take a look at all the things that we've talked about today. Let's take a look again at this video that's being promoted on Reddit, where all these kinds of different viewpoints are currently being censored. We're seeing this mass censorship campaign across social media, across media right now. Of course, calls for violence against Russian people being completely like allowed. Support for these neo-Nazi groups like Azov Battalion are being allowed when they were previously not allowed. And this is on the front, again, this is still on the front page of this subreddit, even after today, when the headquarters, the barracks of this Foreign Legion was bombed in an attack in which dozens of people were killed.
This is an open call to all the
still there
heroes
on
of the free
front
world.
page of this subreddit.
On the 24th of February, Vladimir Putin started the war in Ukraine. He planned a blitzkrieg, but got the blitzfuck instead, when his numerous bastards called the Russian army met the Ukrainians armed with stingers, javelins, bayraktars, and an uncompromising willingness to protect their liberty. Soldiers and heroes of the world, join the fight for liberty, for the human rights, for the free world. Join the Foreign Legion of Ukraine.
Like, again, this is not a fucking game. This is not a game. This is not a movie. And I think it's really dangerous. Like, it's honestly upsetting. And it's really, really dangerous that this has been completely normalized. This has been widely disseminated in Western media and social media, this idea. Not only the idea that it's a good and moral thing to do to just literally go and start and join this fucking fight, but that this is a fight that Russia is losing. This has been widely propagated in our media. People have gleefully shared this idea. And what we looked at today is the actual reality result of that. Not the Reddit Call of Duty version, but the actual real reality of it. Please do not join the Ukrainian military. Please. It looks like most American conservatives do, in fact, think it's a game, though. Oh, Jesus Christ. And normally I don't share information from Jordan Ewell. I know he's kind of a shady figure, often sharing this kind of propaganda, but I guess for this time I'm going to allow it.
Poll asks, what would you do if you were in the same position as Ukrainians are right now? Would you stay and fight or leave the country? More than half of Democrats, 52%, say they would cut and run if America were invaded. Only 40% say that they would stick it out. This contrasts sharply with the 68% of Republicans who say they would stay to fight for the country. Mark Thiessen.
I'll serve crack before I serve this country.
Even more disturbing than the partisan dynamic there is the generational dynamic. You're all too young to remember, but in 1984 there was a fantastic movie called Red Dawn.
Red Dawn, that's right.
Dawn.
This is all we understand in the West, in America.
Exactly. It was a story
all our
of
heroes are
Soviet
fucking cartoon characters and movie action stars.
Led by Patrick Swayze and Charlie Sheen.
Patrick Swayze is going to come rescue us any day now. Jesus Christ.
Insurgency to beat the Russians. Well, the Wolverines are no more. That poll shows that every generation except Gen X and millennials would stay and fight. 52% of those over 65 would stay and fight. God bless the silent generation and the boomers.
Yeah, I'm sure the 65-year-old like motor scooter Walmart generation is going to do a great job in their own protracted insurgency. Again, this is the country that just had a protracted 2-year meltdown over not being able to go to fucking Chili's at any time that they want. They've been whining and crying about this now for 2 goddamn years. I'm sure these people are going to do a really great job in this protracted insurgency. Yeah. For sure. Jesus Christ.
66% of those 50 to 64 would stay and fight. 57% of those 35 to 49 would fight, but only 45% of Gen X and Gen Z and millennials would stay and fight. 48% would flee. So Patrick Swayze's rolling over in his grave.
Just for 1 second, because I know you really drilled down
They have
on
no
this more
heroes.
than anybody on the panel today, potentially.
Who's their hero?
Those
SpongeBob?
people, though, with young children? I'm just trying to get a total demographic view of what the shift is there.
I don't know. It may have something to do with that, though. Most of the people in our military are in that 18 to 34-year-old demographic. Those are the people we'd actually be counting on. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be the one going to fight. Nobody wants me. Nobody wants someone over 65. It's that generation. But I think it might have something to do with this whole culture of safetyism.
They want a safe space.
Generation of kids to be afraid to go walk outside after dark.
It's cancel culture.
So if you're walking outside after dark and there's like the Red Army's outside your door, you might be even more afraid.
Or if you live in some of these big blue-lead cities with the crime burgeoning.
Yes.
Like right now, they told us today that potentially a serial killer is on the loose here in New York and possibly with ties.
This
with
weird new
DC.
generation that
You
doesn't
gotta
want to
read
kill
about
and
that to
die
even
for no
believe
fucking
it.
reason.
So we're going to need toughness from our young people.
Goodness gracious. What a country. Folks, I gotta go kind of relatively soon. Okay, not right away. I can still hang out for a little while. I can still hang out for a little while. How do we feel about... Okay, I've not been shilling. I have not been shilling this whole broadcast. Okay? I've been doing all kinds of commentary here. I've not been shilling whatsoever. But if you've been watching this program and you support this show on Twitch and you want to get the emotes, the best emotes on this goddamn platform, please subscribe to the channel. Okay? Don't leave me hanging here. He's made his face visibly moist, producing content for you. I'm sure some of you weirdos are moist as well. They're thinking Red Dawn, but they should consider dream sequences from T2. Yeah. If Rob would just be a hero and go over and give Putin a couple slubs to the ribs, this thing would be over. Exactly. Don't make me... If I can't make a living from this channel, I'm going to have to join the Ukrainian military. Don't make me do this. You've just become an elite member of the Friendship Triangle. Niebird, thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs. I really appreciate that, Niebird. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. The first 5 gifted subs in this channel rockets right up to that elite level. Please notice how Worm God Rob, instead of crushing the non-subscribers,
count on me
in the picture,
good old Rob to
has stopped to share his wisdom
this.
with them, just as he does on the Rob Rousseau show. That's correct. Thank you very much, Comrade Social Distancing, and thank you, Force a Bill, for the 14 months resub at Tier 3. Force a Bill, hell yeah! Thank you so much for the resub.
You can count on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
TRRS Sankara.
BBDH187. Thank you for the 6 months of Tier 1 as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hell yeah. Got any more takers here? Don't embarrass me. Don't let me embarrass myself on here, folks. Come on. Come on now.
This is some guy, Rob Russo, some leftist based in Canada.
No.
I was turned on to this sick individual, and I found this.
Oh, no. Don't start.
You
Don't
can count
start.
on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
This is harassment.
You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
Left FL1 candy liquor, left FL1 candy liquor, bun p bun poo bun poo, left FL1 candy liquor, left FL1 candy liquor, bun p bun poo bun poo, left FL1 candy liquor, left FL1 candy liquor, bun p bun poo bun poo.
You've just become an elite member of the Friendship Triangle.
You can count on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this. You can count on me. You're gonna have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
Marcus, you're on the list. Marcus. Quote unquote Marcus from Left Flank Vets. You're on the list, sir. I'm trying to have a good time here with my community. You're interrupting with this vile...
Use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
This vile sexual harassment. I'm extremely confident when I say that Candy Liquor gets you more subs than me. Marcus, my son's been asking about you. My son's been asking you about you, Marcus. He wants us to hook up again on Fortnite.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the
Where's
account.
your friend Marcus? Why isn't he helping us do this stuff? Let me get to some of these thank yous. I thanked Force of Bill. I thanked BBDH. Gen X Bushy gifted a sub. Thank you, Gen X Bushy. I appreciate it a lot. Kal-El Marks, thank you for the 9 months of Tier 1, even with all the P's and Poos and...
We simply use the
Candy
computer to
liquors.
mark up the size of the account.
Squatch Drew, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs from Squatch Drew. I really appreciate that, Squatch. And all the support you've shown, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Sunny Gyrosol. Excuse me, Sunny Gyrosol gave out 3 subs. Thank you, Sunny Gyrosol. Ms. Squatch. The whole Squatch family is getting in on this today. Thank you for the 2 gifted subs. Kensai cheered 100 friend coin. Thank you, Kensai. Kitty Splain cheered 100 friend coin. Unnintendo cheered 100 friend coin. Rylan cheered 100 friend coin. Thank you so much to all of you for the support. I really appreciate that. All of you. Thank you. I'm gonna find out who these parody accounts are. Your name in lights above it. This is your big debut, Sin Chow. It's like a dream come true. And when you smile for the camera, I know I love you better. Can't remember the next part. I can't remember the second verse. Sorry. I lost that. China's like, you know I love you better. That's right. I keep it with your letter. That's right. Those beautiful Michael McDonald vocals. Speaking of Michael McDonald.
We simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account.
Speaking of Michael McDonald. Tale of Two Rabbit, thank you for the 100 friend coin as well. Came from somewhere back in a long ago. Sentimental fool, don't see trying hard to recreate what is yet to be created. Once in a life, lost as a smile, or his nostalgic tale. Never coming near what he wanted to say, only to realize I'm doing the octave low. Never really was. He had a place in his life. Man, that song's good. Fucking great song. Oh my god. God damn, is that a wonderful song. Thanks for subscribing, everyone. Thanks for bailing me out there. Thanks for bailing me out. And thank you, Left Flank Vets, for the raid. Even though I think these raids do kind of qualify as targeted harassment. And I will be talking to Twitch about this issue. I do appreciate it, though. Kind of. Not really. Snitches get stitches. It's true. Next time, go into the falsetto. That is a dangerous song to try and sing in front of people. You might be tempting because it's a great song. It might be tempting to sing that song because it's just a wonderful song. It's a dangerous game. That is a dangerous game to start singing that song in front of people. You're just asking to embarrass yourself. So I did have some more stuff that we could talk about. I think we can just kind of chill though for the next couple of minutes. Or let's just chill. Let's just chill. I think we talked about a bunch of serious stuff. We covered a lot of bases today, actually. right? We did the whole Ukrainian military thing, talking about that whole... And if you're just joining us from the raid, that would be my advice to any of the raiders, is to not join the Ukrainian military. I do not recommend that people do this. Okay? We did my chart. Friends of the stream Clueless and Marina did some witchcraft to me. I'm surprised at this reply. I was not expecting this reply to get so much traction. It's the most ridiculous picture. I was not expecting this to get so much traction, this reply here to Jordan Peterson. I've been packing my bag for Kiev. Yeah, time for some whiz-biz. I would recommend against that. I would say to not, that would be my advice, was to not do that. I was just on the plane to Ukraine when I heard Rob's advice and jumped out of the plane right there and then. It's probably actually a safer strategy to literally just jump out of a plane than to join the heroic Ukrainian resistance, the Foreign Legion, and just like throw your body in the way of a bunch of tanks and artillery and jets. It's probably safer to just jump out of a plane. Yeah, postmodern neo-Marx is just a list of libs. That's right. This is quite funny. Hey chat, Jerry Rafferty's Right Down the Line for Your Musical Pleasure. Another great one. I like that one a lot. Great track. This is the extent to which I debate people online. When people try to debate me. Is postmodern neo-Marxism a dog whistle? I heard something about that. I mean, I think there's an element of that. There's the whole like Judeo-Bolshevik conspiracy, right? That's part of it. Peterson doesn't explicitly say that, but sometimes I think that's implied. Precisely how. That's right. It's ridiculous. The Jordan Peterson stands are not sending their best. I'll tell you that much. By the way, folks, what do we think about this? Put a new Twitter avatar. Do we like this? Do we like this new Twitter avatar? I liked this picture, but I'm still not sold. I'm not sold as a Twitter avatar picture. Is the no part of what I was just doing, or is that a no sale? Damn, pretty united on this.
You can count on me. You're going to have good old Rob to talk you through all this.
The left doesn't sound scary anymore. Postmodern neo-Marxist sounds nightmarish to morons.
I actually am in a hotel bathroom pissed. I am. You're right. Thank you, Nick and Hislins, for the 9 months of Tier 1. Yeah, the left doesn't sound scary. That's right. You got to say postmodern neo-Marxist to really freak people out. It's like some pretty solid negative reviews for this. Can't say I was expecting that, but okay. Understood, I guess. Maybe a little harsh, some of the criticism there, but I think that's all right. I guess I'll change it then. Everyone loves my fake glasses. Looks like you're in a barracks in Ukraine. Yeah. Did I see a screenshot of Burn After Reading? Yeah, that's what I put in my header. Really the best movie about the U.S. intelligence community. Your community is very cruel to me. I agree. The community is very... No one in this community does not respect me, Maxie. Not like you. Maxie, you respect me, don't you? If only I could say the same for other members of this community. But yeah, it's like if your understanding of the American intelligence and national security is Burn After Reading, maybe you'll think twice about like these Ukraine issues or these kinds of issues. If your understanding is 24, then yeah, you're signing up to get airdropped into fucking Ukraine and you're going to get immediately vaporized. Burn After Reading, criminally underrated. The Coens have a real tendency to follow up their big critical favorites with weird movies too, which is something I really respect about the Coens. Like they did Fargo, which was like universally acclaimed, won a bunch of Oscars, and was like everyone loved Fargo, and they followed that up with Big Lebowski, which made people at the time when it came out be like, what is this? And it's become kind of a cult classic, but it was a weird follow-up to Fargo. And then they did No Country for Old Men, same kind of thing. And then it's like they immediately afterwards dropped Burn After Reading, which is it's a great movie. It's so great. Lebowski's one of my favorite movies as well, but I think as it was a bold follow-up to Fargo. Jack Bauer would be too busy torturing captured Russian soldiers to fight on the front lines. That's right. But like I was saying before, as 24 makes clear, if you trust the guy that's doing it, and if the stakes are high enough, then it's okay to do that kind of stuff. Only in these certain circumstances, though. I actually haven't seen Hail Caesar. I should see Hail Caesar. I'll be back tomorrow, okay, folks? Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it a lot. Back tomorrow at noon. We'll have more stuff to talk about. We're gonna have more good times. Should be fun. How was the Monday? It was my good Monday, right? This is a good Monday. We stacked some apes, didn't we? We got that paper. We're on our Sigma grind set. Thanks, Karnova. Yet don't sign up for the Ukrainian military, please. Join the Discord server, okay? If you're not in the Discord server, join that Discord server. See you all in Kiev. Yeah, you're learning the wrong lesson from this. You're learning the wrong lesson from this. Please don't. Thank you for convincing us not to join Ukraine. Unpacking now. I'm glad that you were listening to my message in this one, Squatch. I got a different message, and I will be signing up for the Ukrainian Foreign Legion. G. Gluppy, no! No!